Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BSL, the Babylon Smite League. We're here to watch the Champions Challenge between Boo House and Nat20 of the Enkidu division to see who's going to be top seed and who's going to be number 2 with the silver medal. My name's Morty, and I'm joined here by Asinus, who's making all these pretty lights you see on screen happen. And next to me here in the booth is none other than Not a Valve Game. What's going on, my man?
I mean, right now, I'm just excited to see a bunch of players I have never seen before go at it. You told me this phenomenal rich guy is somebody to
Oh.
watch. You gave him quite a high praise, calling him the Paul of Enkidu. So that's quite an interesting. Hey, that's some high praise right there. So I'm excited to see this.
I definitely did say that behind the scenes. I wouldn't think you'd say it on cast, but hey, I mean, that's my boy right there. That's phenomenal, Rich. And they've got a bit of a team there. I mean, Double the DB, who's been a pretty nice carry throughout the season. Arrow as well, very solid jungler that just recently got traded over, from what I understand. And then you've got some big dogs on the side of Boo House. Sirax has been making a name for himself. I believe I thought the Sirax was their carry. Am I tripping?
They
Huh.
might have swapped it up. You said there were some trades going on, so maybe they swapped it up. Let's hang on. We got to check the rosters, but like I do not think that they would swap it up just as this, important match deciding the seeding first or second
Yeah.
seed.
No, I was right. I was right. I've seen
No,
both
there
these
was
teams
you are
before.
right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you out like that, Astonus. It's all right. It's all right. And Rich has also been the carry for quite some time as well. So I feel like both teams had a little reverse there. That's quite all right. It happens. These things happen.
Honestly, that's probably the team's fault for posting it that way and not Asinus's fault. But we can blame them instead of him because production's always perfect. There's never any issues.
Right. Always. There's never any issues.
uh,
But
hey,
maybe a couple issues being put towards Boo House is that the Ardio and Odin have been banned away, as well as Chiron, Discordia, and Neath joining the fray as well.
it seems like a lot of damage dealers seem to be the focus of the Boo House, where on the other side, it's a lot of tank. And then the Newt at the end of that. Hercules is another tank that they did not get rid of, and it's one that's been rising up very, very recently. The shift in the Pendulum Blade coming back into the meta, being a buyable item, and not costing entire bank loan to be able to purchase, makes
Mhm.
it so that it's one of his, if his best item, and allows him to be so effective in that CC lockdown and damage that he loves to do. Aladdin, on the other side for Nat20, though, that's a character that's recently kind of drifted out of the meta a bit. Some changes, some nerfs, but still, I think a very strong jungler. If you put it in the right hands, it could also flex to mid if you really wanted to.
Yeah, there's very few players in the Enkidu division that I've seen that know how to pilot this Aladdin correctly. Errol's one of them. Errol's definitely one of them. I haven't seen Cafe Cat utilize the Aladdin yet. It could be maybe a surprise pick thrown our way, but she's usually used to picking on the mage picks and trying to stay in the back line, right? And just play comfy ability caster from there. And Daji and Merlin join the fray as well.
Um, there may be a correction to that. That Merlin is not actually Merlin. He's not real. It is no, it is a Merlin. Production is tripping us up here. Nat 20's second pick is Morgan Le Fay. We just don't have anything there. Can we put like a smiley face there instead or something? Like, can we just put something there? Morgan Le
It's a
Fay
lot of
is
work.
their second pick, which is wild, mind you. Um, Picking Morgan Le Fay this early, I think, is ambitious, but it also shows comfort, right? I think in these lower divisions, especially, comfort is key, and comfort coming from the On Her and the Yamoja, I think, is something that is really expressed, especially with that On Her when you're in these lower divisions getting into
Mhm.
competitive, let's just say early on, or just playing with friends, doing whatever you're doing, right? You want to be comfortable in a competitive situation when you're learning the game like this. Morgan Le Fay may be a comfort pick for a cafe, so that's probably what they're going for.
I've always been a big fan of seeing On Her picked up with gods that can create walls, right? Rivers of Buke with Yamoja, you create two ginormous walls, and now On Her has a whole lot more terrain to work with as far as using the. I mean, it's not even a pillar pin at that point. What is a wave pin, right? I mean, you get a big stun out of nowhere. I think there's a lot to love about the dual lane comp on the side of Nat20, but going up against Cupid and Sylvanas, man, that's a whole lot of healing.
It's quite a lot of healing, but there is anti-heal back into the game now, back into the
True.
fray. The Brawler's Beat Stick couple of different items allow you to actually apply that. And I believe there are no characters on that team, at least to my knowledge, that have anti-heal and kit, unless Dashi 2 gives it now. I'm trying to remember. So you won't have any, conflicting things right there. But it looks like with the Kali pickup, we're having a bit of spice here. This Aladdin is going, or the Kali maybe going solo lane?
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
Or,
Definitely. Go ahead.
huh, the Aladdin might go mid, and then we got the Lefay in the solo lane. We do have that melee aspect, so this is a strange comp from Nat20 for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they've got a bit of a spicy, a curveball to throw at us here, but Boo House looks pretty standard as is. You've got pretty solid engage through Palau for Daji. Great follow up from Herc. The boulder can hit a massive knockup and do some damage as well. Merlin's got great burn damage, so does Cupid, so objectives won't be a problem. Sylvanas is also going to make sure the back line's healed up and comfortable. A lot of crowd control to make sure they can breathe a little bit easier. And even then, you've got a potential blink engage from Sylvanas knockup on his ultimate. I mean, there's a lot of team fight potential on the side of Boo House. Nat20, I think they have a little bit left to be desired, but an early snowball on their side could lead bad news for Boo House.
Oh, it could be absolutely catastrophic if they get some early kills. Aladdin and Kali both are characters that could just run away with the game. And it looks like the Aladdin is going to solo lane. So
Ooh.
we're getting some spice here. I'm concerned. Because Hercules could just slaughter you. And that's not like a player thing. That is just a matchup thing. Hercules is a very efficient character at beating down off meta melee solo laners like this. And we're gonna have to watch that lane because it could be very, very volatile. Aladdin's gonna have to be careful and make sure he's sticking near those walls to get away from that Hercules.
For now, we'll have to keep eyes on the duo lane because 5 members of Nat20 grouped up on this left side bush. And if Ninja steps up just a tad bit too far, he could get picked off, so needs to be careful, circling around the purple buff. But looks like Nat20 are going to give up on this invade, going back to base as Cat, and Double DB is going to stick around with Rich to make sure they can clear purple buff. Walking over is Errol, going towards the other side of the map to start clearing camps as we look at a much more normal start. But look at Richard still walking forward, probably just dropping a ward, I guess.
Yeah, he's putting the vision down. I actually want to take a look at these starter items specifically because we see, because of the recent patch, some pretty heavy hits, specifically to Sands of Time and to Warrior's Axe. Doesn't seem to have dissuaded the Yamoja from going to the Warrior's Axe, but both mid laners have a Bluestone Pendant. Very spammy mid laners. Big AoE, Merlin, and Morgan Le Fay have a lot of abilities they throw out very, very quickly, which means Conduit Gem isn't really as nice on them because they won't get that full effect, especially later. Upgraded Bluestone feels so much better for them. So that's why I feel like they're just going towards that double stun and dual lane to start. Getting a little flashy already.
Yeah, a little bit of damage taken. But yeah, I mean, another thing we could talk about too is how Bluestone gives off either strength or intelligence, adaptive stats on starters. I know this is a bit of old news for us, but I'm sure some of the people in the crowd are looking and thinking, Bluestone on Merlin, what in the world is going on? So kind of a crazy pick, but I mean, the recent starter change has allowed for some wild starts as far as the starter items go. Good damage going out to Nat20 over the side of duo, but pretty quiet for the most part. Very slow, methodical early game.
Well, you mentioned the adaptive stats, and now that allows the Morgan Le Fay, the Merlin, who have 0 strength scaling, to build an item like Bluestone and not lose the stats from it completely.
True.
Because now they have built intelligence with this gem, whatever they're going into first. They have the intelligence side of that adaptive stat, allowing their abilities, to do more, and they're not losing out from going a Bluestone Pendant, which is something that's really nice with these new starter items. I do see the Onher did decide to go into this Death's Toll, where the Cupid goes into this Bumba's Dagger, allowing him for a bit better clear in terms of that, AoE basic attack. Little, like, Golden Blade-esque effect. Look at this right here, though.
Rory showing up in left side. Fiery Claws doing a little bit of damage, but nothing too wild. Walking back is DB, who took about a third of their health bar, but is A-okay, able to walk back towards their tower and hang out there for a little bit. On the other side of the map, walking towards solo lane is Errol, who maybe looked for something, but Caesar read it like a book and went straight under the tower, deciding Arc might be caught out here, though. Very far up in lane, maybe able to make something happen here, but a great flicker will bring Arc back to the safety of the tower, but a great knock up there from Cat will allow Errol to get a couple more swipes in from the daggers on her hands. First blood goes to Nat20.
Thing was there, Errol went towards right side. The ward from Caesar had just dropped, and Caesar placed another one as soon as Errol walked towards that spot. So he was like, well, there's nothing there. And that's what I was concerned about, by the way. Hercules kind of just does that to squishy melee targets. But then Errol capitalized on that. Okay, I can't get anything here. This mid laner seems a little far forward, so let me go pay him a visit. And because of the lockdown this Morgan Le Fay has,
Not again. Errol's here for a bit of maybe some seconds. A good jump forward will bring him straight into the arms of Deciding Arc. Another kill going towards Nat20. Arrow's second of the game already. Ult utilized from Cafe Cat to get some damage onto Rory. It's coming back into the air, landing back down. Driving Strike brings Arrow out of place, but Cat's able to clean up another kill. That is 3. Make it 4 for Nat20. 2 kills in the pockets of both Cafe Cat and Arrow. That's a snowball that we were talking about in picks and bans, and our dreams are coming true here, Val.
If you're a Nat20 fan, that's a dream for sure, because now Kali has 2 kills and 2. She's got 100% kill participation, 2 kills and 2 assists, and I believe both of those kills were target kills. So that's a little extra pocket change for you. I'm curious to see how exactly this enhances what she wants to do, because Kali does like to capitalize early on, especially when you have somebody who could set up like this Morgan Le Fay. The thing is with Morgan Le Fay, a lot of people have kind of written her off because she doesn't do enough damage, right? And you want like the big numbers for your mid laner. Dual lane though.
Walking forward, getting locked down by the Moonstrike, followed by Rivers of Buke. Phantom Shell utilized to bring Ninja to safety, but disperse forward. Ninja's down to 100. One more spear into the heart of Ninja would take them down, but instead, hiding into the tower and putting pressure onto Sir Axe instead. But 2 low health bars is all that Nat20 can cash in on here in duo lane. Bit of pressure going towards Rich and DB, but what do they get with it? I mean, a mid lane camp. I mean, that's good, right? A little bit of gold.
A little bit of money. On that left side aggression right there was just the advantage of we have 5 and you don't. So we're going to try and take that. Good Phantom Cell usage, which means nobody dies this time, but we did use our beads for the Cupid. So we have to watch that timer, especially with Kali could come over creeping looking for something. And with her lead now resetting, we'll see exactly what she goes into first. I'm expecting it to, I thought it was going to be a Hydra's or something, but she looks to go into this Transcendence first. She's looking more ability based than the basic attack of old, the ancient text of Smite 1, where Kali would go basic attack based. Looks like she's going more ability focused.
Yeah, that's an interesting pickup, but I mean, so far it's shown great results, right? The jump has been doing decent damage as well as the throw forward. Look at Rory looking for revenge, going straight on to Cafe Cat into the Palau. Their force, Rory hiding in the air, providing some temporary safety. Deciding Arc shows up at the last moment to maybe help with a little bit of damage down to half health. Is Arrow even lower than that? It's Cafe Cat who decides to go back a little bit. Arrow continuing to walk forward regardless of their low health bar. Rory walks in, but Cafe Cat's got damage to boot. A dead body called Rory. Eyes on the right side jungle. Deciding Arc getting chased down as well and walking away, able to finally escape Errol's arms and that's Nero's arms, who rotated in from solo. Herc did follow, but couldn't do much thanks to the low health bar. Deciding Arc still in mid with a couple hundred health to his name, but maybe some health pots will give him a bit of an even trade here because he's got a lot of mana to work with and some waves to clear through.
That doesn't look too
he's
even.
Getting poked down.
If he flickered before that 3 going off of him, I'm so glad that he didn't flicker before that 3 went off of him, because he would have died. That would have been so terrifying to see that. But we're okay. We're okay. We know ball. We're fine. The Gold Fairy picked up on the left side though, even though we take opportunities because we see the gank on the right side now. We're going for gold.
Yeah, this is a smart play because you don't lose anything. Firebrands aren't up, and you don't really have a lot of camps to look at. Maybe just a couple small gray camps, but you don't have a red buff to look at. The Scorpion's up, but I mean, you could just walk straight over there after the Gold Fury, which was just taken down. Nat20 getting the first Gold Fury of the game as the beacon's online in 10 seconds as well. So nothing to lose from leaving that side of the map open and controlling the important part of the map there with Gold Fury was a huge play as far as macro goes by Nat20. The beacon now getting looked at. Nat20 in control right now, but Deciding Arc and Ninja looking to maybe get control one way or another.
Well, their jungler is not here, and Kali has just walked in, so we're gonna have to back up a little bit. This Kali is massive right now, and so is this Morgan Le Fay. So we don't really want to challenge this too much, especially with this slow start build that Merlin has decided to go for. This Book of Thoth, I don't hate it, especially when you want to be this kind of powerhouse in the later game. I'm sorry, that him using the mushroom there really kind of threw me off. It just kind of popped up, and I was just like, what is that?
Oh!
Well,
And the boulder's out from her. A driving strike off the mark just a tad. Cafe Cat throwing sword slashes to do some damage onto Caesar Bama. Extremely low on mana, but not low on confidence. Walking forward with Rory, who's able to pick up one kill. A great grab from Ninja will save the life of their friend, but looks like Nat20 aren't giving up on this fight. Deciding Arc still throwing out abilities. This is an epic fight for the mid lane beacon that will go in favor of Nat20, looks like. And they'll make their way towards the mid camp as well to get a little bit, we'll call it a cherry on top, right?
okay, two things. One, that space where they were all like a little bit low there would have been a great time to use mushroom. But two, that pull literally saved that from being catastrophic. That was insane from Ninja. Rich just got dumpstered, respectfully.
He tried it though. That was a smooth play. The disperse, he was just a tad bit off the mark with the 2. That would have been so smooth though. A pillar pin after the knockup, that's core on her mechanics, right? So just
100%.
a sliver of a mistake. It is what it is, right? You know, you mess up one little thing and there goes your health bar. Sirax did get knocked back, but threw out a heart bomb right before they got knocked back, and that was enough to take down Phenomenal Rich. We're 10 minutes into this game here, Val. 5-3. Nat20 in control by 3K gold. No way. Deciding Arc is looking for a fight. Surely he pays the consequence, that being his life, for a silly mistake like that. Make it 6 kills for Nat20 and a little bit more gold in their pockets. Sirax is sure they're going to get dove under tower here. A knock up in, followed by a pillar pin into the wall. We'll call it a wall pin. And look at Rory walking forward, looking for Phenomenal Rich into the air with Palau. Rory gets 1. Rory gets 2. Errol is dead as well. And with 2 dead, maybe Boo House can walk towards Gold Fury, but it's not even up yet.
So, both these teams really want to get active. And unfortunately, this activity has resulted in our deaths. We're going in the lamp now.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Caesar Bomb is going to get chased around here for a little bit. He is quite tanky. A decent knock up there from the wall, but Caesar can do nothing but dance around. His death awaits him in the lamp. Another kill going towards Nat20. I mean, things are on the up and up for Nat20, but Boo House finally getting a little bit of gold by taking down this left side tower. That could help him out in the long run.
These teams, like I said, we're trying to get active, and it had varying results. In the mid lane, Arc went to get active, and it went terribly. And then in dual lane, Phenomenal and Earl tried to get active, and it went terribly. And solo side, the double and Nero got active, and it worked. It was just a lot of activity going on the map at the same time. A lot of violence going on at the same time. It was crazy. I was so surprised at how much was going on at the same time, how much people wanted to get something done. I saw the dive. The dive was very telegraphed, and Sirax just was like, all right, I don't want any of this, and started walking away immediately. Kali gave up on it. She's tanked a couple tower shots. This is a whole nothing burger at the Gold Fury, but it is on her decided that he wanted in. And so the boys decided that they were going in, and it was a little bit too much.
As we dance around the Gold Fury, the second one about to be taken down is what it looks like, but with very high health bars on both sides, ultimates and relics ready across the board. I mean, either team is ready for this fight, really just waiting on a solid initiation. Nero walking towards duo lane. maybe looking to take down Sir Axe, but a dash to the tower. Make sure that Sir Axe doesn't go today. Caesar Bomba walking forward as well, but again, no solid initiation. How do we start this fight here, Valve?
On the side of Nat20, starting a fight is a bit awkward for us unless we find a good River's Rebuke. Other than that, we have to wait for them to start it because we don't want Kali to jump in and get it. We don't want Aladdin to jump in and start the fight. Aladdin and Kali want to come in after the fight has started and some cooldowns have been blown. We want Hercules or Daji to be the one that starts the fight on the other team. We counter engage, but looks like Aladdin's in.
I think that it was Nero who dives into the back line. Into the air, Palau goes. Caesar Nero in the lamp. Palau getting good damage off. Nowhere for Ninja to go. Does get locked down, stunned away, slowed as well. Ninja seems to be the priority, but the rest of the team is going to clean up from there. Double DB, dead. Arrow getting slogged at, but Ninja falls in the process. Rory takes down Rich as well. Kills all over the jungle. This is a wild fight to be a part of. Caesar continuing to walk forward with 300 health. There is no fear in the heart of that man. He's trying to find more kills, but nothing can be found. Wait a minute, maybe we dive into tower here? A lot of possibilities, but execution wasn't so great. So no more is going towards Boo House. Just a couple kills here and there, but no objective being taken down afterwards because there's a lot of low health bars on both sides.
So this is a downside to Nat20's spice here. Your engage relies solely on River's Rebuke finding somebody and blocking them off. You do not want Aladdin to start the fight. Aladdin started the fight there, and it was super awkward because then everybody was looking at him and being like, oh yeah, let's go on Aladdin, let's go on Aladdin. And while Aladdin, I believe, lived that fight, he kind of just got forced away immediately. Yeah. He was put into the lamp with Hercules, which nothing is going to happen there. Unless one of them disconnects from the game, nothing is going to happen. So, especially with both their builds, Aladdin's got a Transcendence followed by a Breastplate of Valor. He's not really doing that much damage to the Hercules specifically. Like right here would be a good River's Rebuke, but we don't have it just yet. This would be a situation where we're looking for the engage.
Ninja's forced to use ult to try and provide safety, but getting knocked into the air and taken down after. Cafte Cat is going to clean up on Ninja. One down for Boo House means it's a green light. Go straight towards the Gold Fury and take that down. Nat20 feel confident, but Caesar Bama around the Gold Fury saying, I don't think so. Not today, Buster. But around the corners, Aurori awaiting a setup. A great impale from Rich is going to create a little bit of space, but a great knockup as well from Caesar. Into the air, Aurori goes onto the Palau, able to create some space and find a kill in the process, but Nero shuts down Aurori. Into the lamp we go. Sirax might be in trouble. A heart bomb waiting for a stun, but Sirax is getting pressed. Nero cannot be killed. Another going his way, but a Deciding Arc finds one on DB as well. 2 dead on both sides so far, but a wish for power followed by another lamp. Caesar Bama is surely in trouble. A disperse forward, but Rich can't get away. A triple kill for Deciding Arc. And then maybe we hop into the lamp, but Deciding Arc is a little worried. We'll just wait for them to come to us and throw down some damage. Caesar Bama shuts down Nero with a driving strike. The only one left is Cafe Cat, who was just now getting out of the base, which means Gold Fury is all for the taking. Boo House emerged victorious.
Aladdin did exactly what he wanted to do in that fight, and it still went not what you wanted for Nat20. Aladdin took the Cupid out of the fight after getting 1 kill on the side. He also interrupted the Cupid's dash like the frame it came out, which was insane. And now we were in a situation where Hercules put himself in the lamp, which means Aladdin can't take himself out because you've just got this dude who's in front of you just beating on you with a chair. And you are stuck there. You can't help your boys. And Merlin's just able to cook everybody. He was able to walk it down with... and just... you know, sear everybody up. And you have the Daji who was taken out at the beginning of the fight, but she got her value. She got that Palo off, she got her damage off, and that's all she needed. Everything that could have went right for Boo House, other than the Cupid dying, it all came together. It all pieced together for them in that situation. So Boo House is able to turn it up and even up this game. There's only like 400. There's only 400 gold separating them now, and this Naga being pulled.
Naga is getting pulled. Boo House in control. It was juggled back and forth for a moment, but finally going the way of Boo House. 2 objectives in less than a minute is huge for them. Rory going into the air. Palau does land a little bit of damage, but not too much following from there. Nat20 feel like taking this fight. Boo House need to retreat, but a great pull, followed by Fields of Love, and a driving strike into the wall is going to force ult away from Arrow, and Shirley dies afterwards. No! Arrow's good. That was a crazy ult, but an awesome initiation from Boo House as well. I mean, that's skill expression at its finest, man. Split pushing on the left side is phenomenal. Rich, who's going to settle on a tower. Maybe I don't feel like fighting. Maybe I've missed too many impales. I'm just going to settle for some gold and do some damage with my basics later.
Getting that T2 is big, though. I believe he also got the T1 just then as well. So we got 2 towers for the Naga Queen, which is a pretty substantial buff. The 5% strength and intelligence on that is pretty good, but you do get 2 towers in exchange for that, so that's a good chunk of change in your pocket. I wouldn't be too upset about that, especially because the fight, did anybody die? I don't think anybody did. Aladdin almost did. I know he got out with like a sliver of HP, which is insane, by the way. This build by him, also, he cooked it up in the lab. He cooked it up, and I don't know where he's going with it. I think that's a Genji's guard next. I'm gonna be honest. I might open up Smite 2 after this and play and do that build, because that looks. I don't know if it's amazing, but it looks really fun.
Yeah, being able, that's the thing though. I mean, you feel so scared sometimes playing as Aladdin. Like, yeah, I've got a lot of damage, but I need to use all my dashes to make sure I don't die. But like when you don't fear, too many abilities being thrown at you, I can imagine playing Aladdin's probably pretty fun like that. Hey, there's nothing funner than winning. And Nero's 3-2 right now, so you can't question results. Rory looking for Nero though on the right side of the map, chasing him into the jungle. Nero is walking towards the Scorpion. I mean, Nero's got more mobility. I think he wins this every day of the week, but the rest of Boo House on the case. There's no way Nero doesn't get chased out here. Fields of Love, not gonna let you dash away today, buddy. A great cripple from Sir X will keep Nero locked in place. Heart Bomb follows, and down goes Nero. But a fight starting in middle lane as well. Walking forward, ult utilized. A lot of bodies in trouble on the side of Boo House, but 1 kill on each side so far. Errol is dead along with Ninja. Caesar Bamba waiting on an engage. Around the corner, in goes Rory, looking to start this fight for real now. Gunning straight for Phenomenal Rich. Down he goes. Cafe Cat able to barely provide some space and escape from there. Rory with a sliver of health, a hair on his tongue as far as the health bar goes. He is alive and not so well, but at least we can go back to base and get well later on. Fire Giant getting looked at by Boo House, and I think they can take this down. We've got numbers, we've got DPS through Sir Axe and Deciding Arc. This looks like it could be good, but steal potential is there. Let's see how it goes. Down to 6K, down to 5, down to 4. It's burning quick, but Nero walks forward. Any chance to steal this away and get back in this game. Nat20 won it, and they won it bad. 1,000 health on the FG. Can we find a stray ability? Cafe Cat steals the fire. Cafe Cat steals the fire, but Caesar Bamba is going to make sure that she pays with her life. But what an annoying pesky nuisance that Nat20 is. Boo House did get a dagger though, and they're gunning all 5 members grouped, walking to the Gold Fury to take that down as a constellation prize. Nat20 surely don't dare contest this. They already got a Fire Giant on their hands.
I mean, that was, well, it looks like we're just gonna kill this on her real quick. No, we tagged the Harpy with our 3. Unfortunately, we don't follow him through, so we don't get that kill for ourselves. Though Rory, that would have been a risky play for sure. I do think she gets the kill though. That was a long sequence of events. We pick the Aladdin, we get a fight in mid, and we lose 1, but then we get 2, and then we go in and we go for Fire Giant. We then lose the Fire Giant, but we still have this advantage. We still have about a 3K gold lead, but the Fire Giant largely negates that, so we have to be careful here. 3 members with Fire Giant, one of them is a Kali. So, it's a little scary. We have to watch here. They're looking, they're posturing around this mid tower, or this left tower. They're looking to get something, but I don't want them to be overzealous with this. They still have a lot of gold in pocket.
Look where Errol is, walking towards Rory, forced into the Palau, and a great pull from there could make sure that Errol falls off the pull, but I think that's, no, not beads. That's, I mean, A-OK. Well, I don't know how they were able to escape, but Errol is okay. Rory down to low health, though. The rest of Boo House getting chased down and forced into the lamp. This is bad news for Deciding Arc. He's going to get gunned down there. Oh, no, that's Rory in the lamp. Wait, no, Arc is... What is going on here by this Gold Fury? Ninja's trying to provide some space. Deciding Arc getting chased down. Aegis forced from Nero, but that's A-okay. He doesn't care. Still gets out.
Arc's
DB's
alive?
dead, though, thanks to Caesar. I cannot believe that he's alive still, but Nero cleans it up for a shutdown. Rich takes down Caesar Obama. Phenomenal Rich feeling pretty phenomenal, I might say, as 3 dead on the side of Boo House and 2 members left with Fire Giant buffs. That's Phenomenal Rich and Arrow. They've got time to cash in with this damage. They're going to take down Oracles. Pyro could be a smart move here.
I am shocked that Arc lived that long. The fact that he did allowed his team to clean up the fight outside and make it so that they didn't... Arc has been really important for the Boo House fights. The damage he provided, the amount of shred he gives for getting through the Emoji. And Aladdin, mind you. Because this Aladdin's build, he's gone tanky. He's got some damage items in there, right? The Shield Splitter, the Transcendence, the Book of Thoth, but he's tanky. So he's got to get through that. Now with this Totem of Death, Merlin could definitely do that with that shred, with all these dot damage abilities. And the fact that he lived for so long against that Aladdin is kind of wild to me, because the Aladdin can kill this guy very, very quickly. There is not a lot of time that Merlin could have spent. And then after he got out of the lamp, he lived for, what, another 3-4 seconds before he went down there finally to the fireback from the Kolphic invocation. So it's still... Arc played that fight perfectly.
Pyromancer getting looked at. Boo House is looking to take this away from Nat20. Nat20 did start the burn for a moment, but decided to drop it. Rory still feeling very aggressive, dashing forward, Paolau, and getting some chains on De Niro. Takes him down to extremely low health, but couldn't quite find a kill. Where do we go from here? Fields of Love utilized, but maybe a great Riptide will let DB breathe a little bit. An amazing escape from Nat20, but that means they're going to have to drop the Pyromancer. But I think that's fine. That's honestly the smart move. I'd rather lose.
Again.
No way! You're lying, dude. You are lying to my face right now. And then Rich is going to get some kills after to capitalize on the stolen Pyromancer. Rory still wants to start a fight, though. Ninja's here. Ninja's around the corner. Rory getting some good damage off onto the back line. DB's knocked up and pulled right after. Putting out damage is Deciding Arc, and Sirax able to clean up a kill on DB. Sneaking around the backside. Arrow's looking to take one with him to the grave, but he's going to barely walk out alive himself. No way. Nero's going to clean up on Deciding Arc. That's 2 dead. Maybe make it 3. Rory is in extreme trouble. You've got to run up the wall to chase down Sirax. Down to 100. Nero's got to play this smart, and that he did, and it rewarded him well. Pyromancer stolen away. 3 dead bodies for Boo House, and nobody is scaring Nat20 today.
FA Cat stealing that Pyromancer, and then the re-engage from Rory trying to get something done. If that 1,000 cuts is able to go through, they are all dead. More than likely, they are all dead. But that perfectly placed fear from the Morgan Le Fay makes it so Rory is not able to do anything. She then gets impaled away, and then Aladdin comes in and kills everybody. That's just kind of what happened. And there is no... I can't sell that any more than perfectly done by the Aladdin afterwards. He spaced against the Cupid. Usually, as a melee character, you don't want to space that far, but because he's playing the Aladdin, he just has to wait for the cooldown of the invocation, his 1. And that Cupid's so low, he just needs to not die to his basic attacks, and you have just enough range to tag him with the Kolphic invocation right when it comes up and take him down. Gold Fury, though.
Ancient Fury down to 3,000. Make it 2. Deciding Arc looking to steal one away. Maybe Boo House going for a steal here. It's extremely low. Phenomenal Rich is able to secure it, though. Sirax finds a kill in revenge. DB's dead. And, I mean, it looked like Boo House were looking at Fire Giant for a moment, but they realized with Sirax not around that, I mean, there's just no way for them to burn that down. So they gave up on the Fire Giant attempts. They're going to have to give up Ancient Fury, but the middle buff at least going the way of Boo House, so they find something instead of nothing. 26 minutes into this game, excuse me. That is a 3K goal lead in the favor of Nat20. The 3-kill lead for Boo House so far. Rory continuing to walk forward. Paolau into the air. Does hit a couple chains, but that's something forced away from Nero to make sure that they don't get pulled right now. Fire Giant is getting looked at, though. Boo House in control. The burn is starting from Boo House. Nat20 ready to seal this away. How do Nat20 take this?
I mean, Nat20 have been sealing it away just because Cat has been existing. So we'll have to see. You see the Aladdin and the Kali coming in to try to pinch them around, but we know Kali's there. I don't know if we know Aladdin's there. Kali leaping away, but it doesn't seem like anything. We throw out the rock.
Oh, good damage onto the back line, but not much else happens from there. Boo House is still feeling a little confidence. No, they're walking away. Nat20, maybe they're going to take over the Fire Giant. They realize they've got higher, maybe not higher health bars. I don't know. I think this has got to be a mental
reset.
thing.
Arc had to reset, so that's
he's walking back
that's
now.
a massive advantage for them. Look
at Arrow walking back. Caesar Bomba hovering around the corner, doesn't have an excavate to seal this away with. Maybe we just gun straight into the back line and let the rest of the team take advantage. But oh my god, Arrow just forced to use the ult. Arrow's in trouble. Cafe Cat cleaned up on Sir Axe. Rory's in the back line. Phenomenal Rich is dead. This is going the way of Boo House, but Nero looking to change the tides of the battle. Rivers of Buke is out, followed by a Moonstrike, does stun 2. Caesar Bomba is in a bit of trouble. Maybe not, as Nat20 walks away, deciding to drop the Fire Giant attempt entirely. Boo House not feeling confident enough to take it away themselves, though, not without Sir Axe, because that's their main DPS. That Fire Giant doesn't burn quick without Axe there. So instead, we'll just make sure that nobody takes it. Oh, now we're starting to burn.
Oh, we're picking it up again. And we walked into the knockup. Nope, Merlin flickered out of it. All right, we're good. I was just deciding Arc walked into the knockup and then immediately flickered out of it. But now we have a slow burn because our Hunter is not here. We don't have our Cupid, so our Shred is... I mean, with Merlin, it's good, but Daji's nowhere near. We're not on it. We don't have those Hydra's procs. It looks like we're trying to get on this Aladdin. Not enough damage to kill him, though.
Nah, you're lying. You're lying. Boo House continuing the burn. It's down to 6K. Cafe Cat is around the corner. Can she walk up fast enough? Down to 3. Down to 1. Who's going to get it? The Fire Giant going to Boo House. Their first one of the game. Dagger utilized just in the nick of time to save one of their allies alive. A Moonstrike as Arrow goes straight towards deciding Arc. Sirax is going to clean up on double DB. Rory continuing to double key towards Arrow. Ooh. And Cafe Cat can do nothing but watch. Rich is pumping numbers, but not much longer can he breathe because the rest of Boo House is ready to go. Green light is going to take them towards the right side, take down that tier 1, maybe tier 2 next on the chopping block.
That was scrappy, for sure. But we did get the secure. Finally, we got the secure on the objective there. It took us 2 tries, but we got it. And now we have a huge advantage because we took down the heavy... The people who've been causing the most trouble is the damage from this Kali and the Aladdin being such a... He's got good damage, sure, but the amount of time he spends staying alive, he has tankiness, but he also has tankiness in the form of wasting time. He's got times where he's untargetable. He's a slippery guy, too. He dashes through you, then he climbs on the wall. You can't hit him while he's doing that. Then he goes in the lamp, and you can't hit him while he's doing that with one person. And then you gotta wait for them to go in, and if you're getting blocked from going in, you can't hit him. He's got a lot of time he can buy, and that, by virtue of which, makes him even tankier, because you just can't hit the guy. But he's dead, so we have so much more space, so much more breathing room to operate. Nero is so core to this Nat20 composition working because of how irritating this Aladdin is going to be. Once he goes down, the fight comes together for them.
As Ancient Fury getting looked at by Boo House once more. With Fire Giant buffs and Ancient Fury debuffing some of those birds, this could look very, very good for Boo House. Pyromancer taken as a constellation prize for Nat20 as we reach the 30-minute mark. 30 and a half to be exact. A 3K gold lead this time for Boo House. And they've got a 6-kill lead as well. Their third Gold Fury taken. Ancient Fury debuffs. I mean, everything looks good for Boo House. But how do Nat20 approach the game going from here? Because they're in a deficit for the first time in a while.
Right now, the momentum, like the tempo of the game is really out of their favor. Yet, like you said, for the first time in a while. Because they were the ones starting the fights. They were the ones taking what they wanted. They were stealing objectives. They were doing as they wished. But right now, you kind of have to refocus, recalibrate a little bit. And because you can't walk into Boo House and take this fight. Because their team fight ultimately is just better than yours. Their standard, like, front-to-back team fight. By that I mean, like, how they play together as a 5-man is better. You have a weird, scrappy, kind of team comp. You can look for picks with this Yamoja isolating somebody, but you're a scrappy team. You've got this Aladdin playing like a little weasel that runs around the fight and just immunes damage by virtue of being untargetable. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. He just like weasels around the fight like a little rat. That's what he does.
Right.
And this Kali comes in, tries to take down who she can. You can flicker over that wall. Sorry. That really threw me off. I did not know that. Anyway, I'm learning things today. And
We're all learning things.
The amount of scrappiness, the way these fights need to go in the favor of Nat20 is you have to kind of separate it, break it into pieces, and dice it up that way. But if Boo House just rounds it out and keeps together like they have been, it's just gonna go their way.
And a couple things taken down. The middle tower, tier 2, is dead, but both side birds are debuffed in the Nat20 Titan room. Fire Giant buff wearing off in 10 seconds, but you know what's around the corner here, Valve? EFG, Enhanced Fire Giant. It's a lot harder to take down, but Boo House would be able to just run it down from there, I'd imagine. Nat20 not going to let that happen, though. Cafe Cat has already stolen 2 objectives this game. Can she go for the hat trick? We'll have to wait as time can tell. And you've explained how Nat20 takes this through, but Boo House in the lead, like we said, for the first time in a while. How do they continue this momentum they've got going?
Keep together. Do not let them scrap how they want to. Because if Nat20 separates you on the fight, you see how Aladdin and Kali were like coming from the left side. Like Kali was coming from that mid camp from Pyromancer Pit, and Aladdin was coming from the totem area. They want to fight you at separate angles. They don't want to fight you as a 5v5 team because they lose that. They don't win that. They don't have the traditional like Hercules frontline lane dive guy. Right? Hercules can walk in and soak a ton of damage so that Daji can get in and do what she wants. Daji also has been kind of starting these fights with the let me 3 in and get the powwow off. So she's able to immune some damage. She doesn't have to take a lot, but Hercules is soaking a ton of these cooldowns for her. Aladdin can't do the same thing for Kali. While he has built tanky and while he can immune things by virtue of being annoying and distracting, and now with this Aegis as well, it helps with that. He does not have the HP bar like Hercules does. He does not have the healing like Hercules does. This guy cannot be allowed to do what he's doing right here. This Aladdin, we either got to group up and try and kill him, or we got to group up on the rest of the boys and do something. You see how this Kali's running. She's running to try to separate the team. We're trying to disperse them so that we can get something done how we want it.
And here we go. Damage being thrown out, and Aurori's in a bit of trouble. Amp utilized to throw Sir Axe in, but Nero's getting chopped away out in there. It looks like a rough lamp fight for Nero, down to a couple hundred health. And Axe, it may be able to find something there. That's the time lock Aegis utilized, but still doesn't save his life. Nat20's reinforcements a tad bit late to the party, deciding Ark's going to clean up on Rich in the process. That's 2 dead for Nat20, and Sir Axe is the only one for Boo House so far. A great knock-up from Ninja will let a lot of damage be thrown straight onto Cafe Cat, who is dead from there. Caesar Bama extremely low. Same thing with Deciding Arc. Low health bars across the board for Boo House, but Nat20 not giving up on the jump just yet. Arrow's able to take down Aurori. Arrow still extremely healthy. Boo House are worried for their lives. A couple stray abilities from Arrow will kill anyone. Look at Arrow walking forward. Double kill. Caesar's dead. That's 4 dead for Nat20, but now 3 for Boo House. It's hard to tell who's even the winner here.
Don't bother with chasing these guys down. You don't need the farm from those camps. Take that T2. It had the Oni Fury or the Primal Fury taking the objective from it. That's not even what it's called. It's called the Ancient Fury. I'm falling back to the history books. The Ancient Fury was deactivated, was making it weaker. You could have taken that down, gotten the objective on top of what you were doing. Kali came in. This is what happened. That fight started. It was scrappy how they wanted it. And then the boys came in from Boo House, and it was suddenly a grouped fight, and it fell apart. But then we got to the point where enough people fell down and enough people were low where we got scrappy again. Kali was able to come in and just farm up those kills. Get those kill columns a little bit higher. Get the pick off on the Hercules. Get those kills that she wants. We get back to the scrap, you know. And now we have to, again, find another way to separate the team like that. Yep. That was really well done to start it off. Separating Nero with Sir Axelot. Granted, Nero lost, but then two of the boys came in, Double and I believe it was Cafe, that came in and took down sir. But then the 5v or the 4v4 happened. So we have to try to find a way to kind of balance this out. Kali could keep somebody else separated, separate this team fight, and dissect the team from there.
The group around the enhanced fire giant has started. And neither team beginning the burn. Both teams awaiting an engage. Boo House walking back a little bit. Their Titan room is under pressure. Left bird is debuffed. And siege minions walk through each lane. Nat20 beginning to burn here.
The Naga is also there in left lane. So that's even worse. So Merlin has to respond to that because they will lose that Phoenix. The Fire Giant, though, is getting poked out. But the Hercules got the push-pull, forcing the beats from the on her.
No way. We're starting the fight here. Nat20 seems to be in control, but a boulder followed by Rivers of Buke, followed by Fields of Love. Ults across the board. Rory takes down 2. Rory into the air looking for a 3rd. Nobody within chain range, so going to jump off of the totem and then walk forward with the rest of the team. Caesar Bama creating space as the EFG has now been hijacked by Boo House and beginning to burn from here. Ninja, Rory deciding arc, and Sir Axe beginning to burn. Caesar Bama creating space, but he can only take so much damage. Let's see how much he can take. Rory goes over the wall. We're gunning straight for Cafe Cat. You're not stealing this thing today, buddy. But wait a minute. That's a Desert Fury. Phenomenal Rich couldn't make it happen, but into the pit. Who's going to take it? Arrow stole it away. Arrow has stolen the EFG once more, saving the game quite possibly, but with such long death timers and debuff sidebirds, Boo House could maybe walked over there and take down this right bird, but I don't know if we end game from here. We at least take a bird, though. This is a back and forth battle, dude. Oh my God.
I don't think we end here. I do not think we end here, especially with our health bars being so low. Aladdin's up in 2 seconds. Yumoch is here.
This is extremely ambitious, but I love the effort. The mushroom is thrown down and continuing to fight, but taking deciding arc off of the burn, throwing him into the lamp instead. No way we burnt the Titan. There's no way. Rory made it happen on their own. Boo House have just won game 1 of the set. That was crazy. Oh my God.
You separate the fights the scrappy way you want to, but eventually it all comes together, and then the fight goes the way of Boo House, exactly how they want it. You steal EFG, sure, but the fight's already fallen apart, and enough damage is enough damage. Rory getting his Hydra's procs in there, getting his damage onto that Titan with the 2 big health bars, the 2 beefy boys in Ninja and Bama, both there able to tank up that Titan for him, even with the highest amount of damage, Arc getting taken out by Nero. Really well-placed lamp, by the way, to be able to tag that behind the 2 beefy boys. Hercules is huge, and so is Sylvanas. Very big hitboxes, so being able to tag him was nice. But it was not enough, unfortunately.
Crazy game. And to think that we're only in game 1 here, Valve. We've got more games to go, but before we get to those games, we got to take a quick break, set up the lobby, and get everything else together. So viewers, get your potty break out of the way, go grab a snack. We've got a hell of a set ahead of us. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BSL, the Babylon Smite League. And we're here to watch over Game 2 between Nat20 and Boo House of the Enkidu division here in the Champions Challenge to decide who is going to be first seed going into playoffs. My name is Morty, and I'm joined here by Asinus behind the scenes, making sure you see all the pretty colors and lights and things you see on screen. And next to me here in the booth is none other than Not a Valve Game. What's up, man?
That last game was wild. It's got me excited for what's going on for the rest of the game. An interesting composition from Nat20 didn't end up panning out. Naja's face is huge. I'm sorry, that threw me off a little bit. The Naja ban is actually very interesting because last game we didn't really talk about it, but that character is very, very volatile, specifically in the solo and support roles. You
Yep.
could even do it in jungle. It wasn't Naja. We got baited. It was Neath. That character can be very volatile. And now with all these characters below us taken away because of the vault band format, that empty slot between them is Morgan Le Fay, by the way. We have a lot more options, a lot more freedom to go around to. I wonder if Naja's in the pool of any of these players.
Now, I did get word. Let me double check. Asinus, is this correct? Okay. I'm getting word from production that if Nat20 can reverse sweep this set, then Phenomenal Rich, let me put on my reading glasses, and I quote, mock a Fruit of the Loom commercial and dance around and flex in his briefs while slow jazz plays in the background and then put it in the announce channel. Now, these are high stakes we're looking at, folks. I don't know if y'all have seen Phenomenal Rich, but these are very high stakes on the line here. More than free.
Well, I've never seen Phenomenal Rich myself, but now I'm intrigued by the fact that you are hyping this guy up very, very much. I am They got to reverse sweep now. We got to get this guy to do this to go crazy in the announcements chat. All right? I've never seen this guy. The thing is, if I knew what this guy looked like, I think I could, enhance this a little bit more. Speaking of enhance, that's a dive right there.
That is the dive. You've got Thor, you've got Pele, and both. You know what makes this so cool to look at too? Both are interchangeable between jungle and solo because Pele's got the aspect of the Obsidian, and Thor's got aspect of Thunderstruck. Either can utilize these aspects and go into solo. Now, I'm kind of wondering who would be going where. What do you think with the recent balance changes?
I'm gonna be honest. I really think Thor is just probably going solo. Pele solo would be really cool to see, but she just functions better in the jungle. And Thor's such a good solo laner with that aspect of Thunderstruck. He does a good deal of damage. He's got good clear. He doesn't have any like particularly terrible matchups. And in the late game, he's gonna do what Thor does best, and that is start the fight and get that good damage off with that Anvil of Dawn, followed by that whole combo. Thor is just a good character in that role in solo lane specifically, and Pele is a riskier one for sure. Now with the Artemis Sobek locking down that aggressive dual lane for Nat20, pairing with that Kukulkan, which could go a couple of different places as well. That aspect of the Squall means it could go jungle. It could also go solo, but he could also just be the traditional Kukulkan mid. But picking it so early makes me think it's going somewhere else.
And now with Medusa and Zeus on the field. This is a classic pick for Phenomenal Rich to use the Medusa, but instead, Boohouse is going to take this away so Rich can't utilize one of his favorite carry picks. And now Zeus is going towards Aurori. And Zeus, I feel like Zeus is in a great spot right now. He has been slamming damage in every game that I've played. So Zeus is a solid pickup. Instead, we'll return the favor with potentially Nija, who has been a threat, like you talked about earlier, with Aspect of the Righteous Flame, an absolute monster to deal with throughout the game. But a lot of heavy hitters on the side of Nat20 already. I'm looking at Artemis, damage. Looking at Kukulkan, damage. I'm looking at Sobek, not so much damage, but Sobexecute. It's kind of like damage. I don't know.
That's Naja solo. And seeing how effectively Nero played that Aladdin last game, Naja's just going to be easy. Piece of cake for him. That
Yeah.
character with that aspect does so much damage. And the threat he has to just kill somebody in that solo lane is insane. The sheer amount of numbers he puts out is incredibly high with that second ability changing from that steroid into that little flip slam with that little bit of healing makes him so much more deadly and it allows him to build tank, be a little bit more supportive for the team with that ring bounce. He just that aspect's so good. The Naja solo is so good because of that aspect. He is such an active character with that, and he just gets so much done. And now with the Ganesha, that I feel like that confirms it's going to be a Thor Naja in the solo lane. And did Rory and Arc switch roles?
Wait, well, hold on. let me throw a curveball at you here. I like to let's look at it this way here, Valve. Imagine just picture in a perfect world with me. Close your eyes. Thor support, right? Ganesh goes into the jungle. Aspect of the triumphant. Oh, think about it. The
I am a
mobility, the
Ganesha aspect
damage.
lover. I
Yes,
love
bro.
Ganesha
I
aspect.
knew
It
it.
actually, I got my first pentakill in this game with Ganesha aspect.
Really?
It was so the amount of dopamine I got from oming people to death, fantastic.
I can imagine.
It was just but the thing is, right, in a situation like this, if you're gonna put Ganesha in the jungle, Nemesis can kind of just walk that guy down, and it's a little bit scary. And it looks like Ganesha will be going into the dual lane and the support, the traditional role we see him. And Rory did switch roles with deciding Arc, so they did swap, and it is Pele solo.
There's a
That
lot
switches
of
the dichotomy of this lane.
Yeah, aspect of Obsidian. I mean, it makes this is a crazy pick. We already don't see Pele that much, but I mean, since the nerfs have been hit to aspect of Obsidian, Pele solo has been almost non-existent. But look at Nat20 going for an early invade, potentially yet again. Nero is walking forward. Maybe there's a chance that DB could land a solid pluck onto Thor, but Rory walking on the other side, trying to maybe play distract the whirlwind. There's no crowd control in that, so we're not going to slow down Rory. Maybe Nero can cut the middleman out, go through the fire giant door. Rory seems to be in a whole heap of trouble here. You're caught between a rock and a hard place. Rory's down to 50 health. A throw from Rich and a basic will take down a Rory. That's first blood for Nat20. The invade was successful.
What are we doing there? Were we just warding, placing vision down, and then Kukulkan just walked up behind us, and then we're like, oh.
I think so.
I think that's like just what happened. We were trying to place some vision down, and then all of a sudden there's a danger noodle behind us, and we're like, oh, the rest of the boys are probably here. They don't have the blessing that we do in being able to see that. No, in fact, there was not anybody following the Kukulkan behind him. I'm just surprised the Zeus kind of let that happen to himself. Unfortunately, he does get caught, and there is no out for the Zeus there. Unless there's some miracle that like the entire game crashes, there is no out. That guy is gone. So he bought a lot of time, which is nice, but he unfortunately didn't buy enough to where it was like delaying buffs or anybody missing waves. Unfortunately, that first blood does go in the pocket of the Artemis, which means he does hit level 2 before anybody else. This dual lane dominance, already from an aggressive lane that I think was going to have it, just allows even more potential for a kill.
And I think the dual lane could be in a lot of trouble for Boo House. Nat20, look at Rich just slamming damage already. Wave is not an issue. And look at the pluck. Ninja's in trouble. Nowhere for him to go. Another slow. A couple more basics. And a great trap from Rich will lock down Ninja and took away Phantom Shell in the process. Nat20 is gaining momentum at a rapid pace.
The Ganesha tried to do like a little fancy little move to try to make double overthink it and miss the pluck. Double, you're not getting in his head. He knew. He's just like, I just have to wait. This big elephant will stand in front of me, and I just grab him. All I have to do, because eventually he's just gonna juke himself into a corner. So he did, and that's exactly what happened. It was an easy picking right there afterwards. Didn't waste time trying to trap him or miss the trap after the pluck too. We waited until the Ganesha was in a spot where we can easily trap him. This guy's dead. No?
Arrow's dead? No, down to 50. No way. Arrow barely able to escape. Not enough damage from Arc or Rory, so they'll be walking away from the mid lane camp, and it's going to go towards Boo House as Arc walks straight to Cafe Cat to take that down. Nero's in a whole lot of trouble. Caesar chasing him down. Does have mobility. Nero's in trouble. Lands a stun. Tries to walk away. Healing for their life. Nero looking to get away. Another knock up and throws the ring into the air before they fall. Nero is dead. Caesar Obama with a kill.
Man. The Pele getting the kill, by the way. into this matchup for the Naja. Naja usually likes to wait until around level 4, level 5 before he starts getting aggressive, but getting this kill early is huge for Pele. Looks like she's going into what I think is going to be a Yogi's necklace first, which is very nice for the Pele. Gives her a little bit of regen for this trading, that plenty of trading you do into this Naja. Cat, getting aggressive.
Oh, not bad, but not much more can happen from there. But on the left side, a lot more can happen as Sir Axe goes straight forward with Lacerate, finds a stun, down goes DB. Rich by himself over here in duo, but not giving up on pressure. Going to continue to hold the wave and, you know, try and get as much farm as he can before going back to purple. And things still look good for Nat20 duo, although a double kill, a kill on double specifically, not a double kill, but the kill on double is going to let them get a little bit more gold than they once had. Arrow walking into the right side jungle to get some poke damage off and then walk away from there. Maybe take away this red camp. I can imagine that's what Arrow's here for.
So they are looking for the invade, but off the mark with the wall on one target, tags another one.
Oh, good whirlwind, slipstream away. Cafe Cat is A-okay, but a slice and dice not available from Arrow to take him down. A huge ult from Cafe Cat does decent damage onto Rory, awaiting a slice and dice opportunity. Whirlwind down to melt the wave. Maybe let Arrow dive under the tower, but not going to happen today. Arrow extremely low on mana, saving it for a slice and dice on the red camp, but a great stun followed by the wall. Nowhere that Arrow can go. He's just going to have to watch. And Lightning Storm's out here. No. Rory's going straight to Cafe Cat, awaiting the detonate. Walking away. One button will kill, but not able to hit it because Arrow swooped in from the right side saying, okay, I couldn't steal the camp. I'm going to steal your soul instead. Fighting all over the map on left side, right side as well. Look who just showed up. Deciding Arc is looking for Nero. Windfire Wheels utilized to create an escape, but is Nero fast enough to get away? It looks like that's the case, but into the air, Thor goes, looking to land back down on Nero. Slam, stun, followed by the 3. Deciding Arc gets another kill for Boo House. Dead is Nero. What a crazy early game here, Valve.
Absolutely insane. And I actually, right here, did a little bit of research while we were in between the games, just to look at these teams. And this Pele, well, not in picks and bans, I just thought, you know, my mind was thinking a certain way. This Pele has been picked by... Uh-oh, this guy's dead. Yep,
oh, slice and dice. Continue.
Anyway, this Pele has been picked by Bama. I think it was 5 times in the solo lane. So this guy knows this character pretty well. And it just slipped my mind when we were in picks and bans. I can't believe, I was looking at it. This Pele popped up so many times, and this guy was putting in some numbers too. Note, I didn't see any negative stat lines. This guy was doing work on this Pele.
Yeah.
So he knows how to operate this pick, especially in a meta where the character it's a niche pick. It's not something that's been relevant in a long time, and characters like Naja, like Hercules, who can fight back into it, is definitely something you gotta, you know, be able to learn and adapt to. But it looks like he's doing just fine right now.
6 minutes into the game, 4-3. Nat20 in the lead by a little bit less than 1,000 gold. We'll call it 600 or 700. No pun intended. Firebrand's getting picked up by Boo House to maybe even the odds a little bit in their favor. That's a big objective that will give them a stacking buff that's permanent intelligence and strength throughout the entirety of the game. So Boo House definitely want a slice of that pie.
Ninja seems to really like this mushroom. This and Amanita charm. The mushroom charm. He picked it up first last game. And I mean, it's split protections and it also is a decent active item, but right now in this game, I'm not sure I like it as much because last game there was no in-kit anti-heal, but this time you got a Sobek. And that guy easily procs anti-heal. You got that 3, and then if you stand near somebody who has the 3 on him, you get diseased, so you got anti-heal. So it's not going to be as effective. But there is still some other, you know, parts to it. Bama!
Ooh! Windfire Wheels getting chased down. Arrow cleaning up from there. Caesar dead. Nero and Arrow find a kill in solo lane. Grouping up for the mid lane. Beacon from there. Arrow's going to have to walk over to contest. Otherwise, Boo House are going to have the numbers advantage, but not giving up pressure, not giving up confidence. Nat20 want this beacon bad. Can they get it, though?
That dash was perfectly timed, by the way. Blocking off of that volcanic lightning, making sure we don't slip away that easily. That's a lot of distance she could have made unless that dash was there to block it. Anvil of Dawn goes up and goes back down. He doesn't... I think that was an active choice, by the way. He didn't want to go on the Nemesis. He just wanted her away. Pele's here now.
That's a huge call. I mean, zoning is probably the biggest thing here. And it looks like the beacon almost went in favor of Nat20, but Boo House have the man advantage. They've got 4 bodies hovering, arrows around the corner, but could get jumped on at any given time. A great wall locked arrow in place, followed by the Dharmic pillars, arrows in a whole heap of trouble, and the Spear of the Nine wins a tad bit off the mark, deciding Arc is able to get the shutdown. Away is Arrow. Now 3 left from Nat20 with half health bars and Boo House in control. They're surely going to be able to get this mid lane beacon, and a lightning storm followed by the detonate takes Cat, and look at that. Double DB almost dead. Low health bars across the board for Nat20. So they just got a kill. They got the mid lane beacon. They're going to get Firebrands, and looks like Gold Fury as well. This is huge for Boo House.
If we waited 1 more second, or like 1 or 2 more seconds, that might have been a double kill. We would have killed Cat for sure. But the Sobek might have lived. That's why I like screamed. I was like, huh! Like I thought they were dead. I thought they were gone. But the detonate was you were a little too eager, but that's okay. You still forced them out. You got the same effect. You forced them out. The Gold Fury was still picked up. We're fine, right? Would have been nice to have a couple of kills in that column, especially with the few deaths you got. But that's okay. It's okay. Rory. Rory's happy with the result. Your team got Gold Fury. I'm happy with that. And now we're at a point where our gold lead is pretty much evened up. What? There's like 50. There's like $50 separating these two teams. 50 gold. Nothing too crazy. I really like the fact that we have this sort of. Oh, this guy. Well, that guy's dead. I was gonna mention we have this carry who's got a lead, and we haven't entirely tried to accelerate it yet because we want to balance out other parts of the map. But now I'm happy we're walking over to that side because realistically, why would Axe expect that guy to be over there? We just took Gold Fury's down. Let me push up, let me clear this wave, and let me reset afterwards.
Ooh, dude, that's really good damage. Phenomenal. Rich is in trouble, walking forward into the right side jungle. Dharmic Pillars is out, but Rich is able to slam one before he dies. 1 dead on each side so far. Arc is dead. Same with Rich. Then having to dash away. Charge Prey brings double DB to safety, but not much to look at on this left side of the map. There's no Firebrands here. Gold Fury is down. Oracles as well. A couple camps, but Boo House aren't going to invade here. So they did scare away Nat20. That is a trade for sure. But we got to be looking at these Firebrands. You've got maybe 1 or 2 before the Queen Naga shows up here in a bit.
What killed deciding there? Was it just a trap that he was in before he went up?
Fate.
I'm shocked that that guy died. I mean, I guess. But that was surprising that he fell down there. Because, like, Artemis was dead before he would have landed. So I'm guessing it was just, like, tick damage from the trap because there was no, like, blue... Artemis has Gilded Arrow. She doesn't have dot damage. So, and he was in the sky for sure. It looks like these Firebrands are going to be the next point of contention in these two teams. Already secured.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna go towards Nat20, but 3-on-3, wanting to start a fight, make it 4. Cafe Cat just showed up. Phenomenal. Rich slams a solo kill. Down goes Sir Axe, and looking for the sub execute. This could be one big chomp, but Caesar Rama's healing fast. A little bit more damage, and a chomp doesn't find the sub execute, but we're gonna walk away from there. Spirit of the Nine wins a tad bit off the mark. Oh no, it was off the mark, unfortunately. Nero's dead. It's coming back down from Anvil of Dawn. Look at Arc walking forward, taking down Arrow. Very low is Cafe Cat with no slipstream available. Rory finds the kill. 2 dead, about to make it 3. We're going to be making crocodile boots tonight with a triple kill for deciding Arc. Boo House are in the lead.
Man, all of that just fell into place for Boo House right there. We had the Zeus ultimate. As soon as they walked out of it, we get the double stun with the Thor ultimate. Everything came together exactly how we wanted it. Caesar also lived. Criminal activity. I'm calling the police. That was insane. The fact that he lived that. But it's also thanks to that Pele healing, that regen from that Yogi's necklace. Now finishing up the Spectral is going to make it borderline impossible for this Nemesis to kill her. At this point in the game. No attack speed built on the Nemesis. Not that it would really benefit her that much. You see this ability-based build with this Pendulum Blade, this Erendite. her basic attacks are the main source of where Nemesis is going to finish up the kill on the Pele. She's got the good burst, but with how slow her basics are going to be now, this Pele is going to be so difficult to kill for her. Artemis is going to need to come in to even get anything done.
Oh, good stun. Arc was walking forward. I don't know what he was looking for, but Arc is getting touched. No, Arc, you've got an Arc. What happened? I guess he got stuck in place. I've heard of that bug happening before, and I'm just hoping that's a pause. That looks like the bug. I've seen this before here. Oh, maybe he DC'd? Door's gone? I don't know.
That in place. I don't.
Yeah.
That was very bizarre.
It's something with that wind sprite right there. He was right above the wind sprite, and when you get locked in place like that, I mean, the wind sprite like tries to take you up, and then it doesn't take you up, and then you're kind of locked there. I haven't seen that bug in quite a bit of time, but it is there. So that stinks.
So, well, I thought he just failed the skill check and was too embarrassed, and then got CC locked down.
True, that does happen.
That wind sprite is a skill check. I don't know if you saw, if you were watching OSL the other day. There was like 4 consecutive failed skill checks. I was cashing over that. It was insane. But it was absolutely insane. Unfortunately, he falls down because he couldn't move.
Unfortunately, also, we have to cut to a break because we've got to figure out what this issue is all about. But we'll be back in a moment when we talk things out. We'll see you in a few. And welcome back, everybody. We're here at the Gold Furious. Nat20 just cashed in on a free kill on Deciding Arc, and now we're going to take an objective away from that, thanks to an unfortunate bug, but it is what it is. These things happen. Phenomenal Rich slamming some extra gold from there. That's going to put Nat20 back in a bit of a better position as we're 13 minutes in, even on kills and just about even on gold. But look at the Petrify, a little bit off the mark. Arrow doesn't get stunned, chasing under the tower. Double DB gonna slam right in, because just when you're worried about Nemesis, there's a Sobek behind you. Great kill there from Double DB.
That the cleanup kill right there afterwards too. you pick up your kill, you pick up another one right after, and I believe we are all squared away, and it's kind of evened up now with the, not in terms of the duo lane, but we're getting closer to evening it out. It's about 1,000 gold between the teams, so not exactly even, but we're getting closer and closer. There is a 3-level deficit in duo lane, specifically, but everywhere else is kind of evened out. There is a little bit of a lead for Boo House and solo lane, a little bit of a lead in jungle, so it's it's divvying up. It's getting a little bit better for them right now. And that kill for Sir Axolotl makes it a lot, or Axolot, not Axolotl. He's not an animal. Axolot makes it a little bit better for him, catching him up.
I like the idea of Axolotl like on the keyboard and mouse with the headset on. Like I'm just trying to like imagine that. Kind of
They're gaming.
Just the image locked into a comp set right here. I mean, it makes sense why an animal would be an Enkidu. I mean, think about it. Imagine being in Athens, right? And you see like an animal playing, right? This it feels a little more reasonable to see it there. Arrow getting silenced down. Looks like Arrow's going to be the one losing today, but a couple dashes bring Arrow to safety, closer to the tier 1 tower, so Boo House don't feel comfortable diving in. But the Moonlight Queen has spawned, and Nat20 are maybe making their way there. No, they're not. They're not. We'll see what happens.
I like this adaptation from the Kukulkan here. Divine Ruin
Oh no.
Divine Ruin, I'm sorry, the game paused, so I just reflexively paused. Divine Ruin now actually does apply anti-heal. So, with this Mushroom pickup and this Pele having that insane regen with that Yogi's necklace, it does allow her to, you know, get a little bit more value out of that Divine Ruin.
Uh-oh. Well, waiting on communication from the tech peeps as we figure out what's going down, but a pause unfortunately halts our action for now. Valve, you have anything interesting happen today?
Interesting happened today?
Yeah.
No, I sat at home and I did nothing. I'm off today. I did absolutely nothing today. I'm sorry that's today is not a day for me to do anything interesting. I have an off day of work today, so I got Dunkin' Donuts. Not sponsored.
Yeah, that's exciting.
They have the black pepper bacon sandwich back, and that's delicious. So I love that.
I didn't know they did sandwiches.
They do. They do sandwiches. They do wraps. They used to do like a better wrap, but it's gone now, so I'm sad.
Do you because the term from Dunkin' Donuts obviously comes from, I'm sure you've seen it in plenty of cop films where it's like a small town where something's wrong and it's like a detective or a cop like eating a donut with coffee, like and that's a common thing, right? Is like them dipping the donut in the coffee. Have you ever done that?
I'm not a coffee drinker. To be honest, I'm just not a big fan of coffee. I mean, I like the flavor of it. It just doesn't sit well with me, you know. So I'm not very active coffee drinker. I haven't dipped a donut in coffee though. Oh, the game's back. The game's back.
Thank God. I was gonna go off. Okay. So Moonlight Queen getting looked at. Boo House have 3 members walking that way. Double DB somehow has a vision. Maybe through wards, quite possibly, and walks away from there. Moonlight Queen is now getting burned away, but keep in mind, Valve, this thing doesn't regenerate health. Once you damage it, it stays damaged until it disappears, so they could drop it at any moment if things go awry. Whirlwind does create some space.
Thor's up.
Rax takes down the tower on the other side. Thor's in the air, looking for an engage, down to 1,000 health, slamming back down. Darmy pillars, but looks like Boo House. No, Nat20 are going to take this away, but phenomenal Ridge, slamming some kills. Arrow takes down 1 with him. Cafe Cat kills another. 3 dead in the blink of an eye, thanks to the Whirlwind and the Spirit of the 9 wins. Caesar Bama running for his life, but can he get away? A huge knock up, followed by the movement speed boost. Caesar Bama might be in good shape. Nat20 not going to be able to catch up to Caesar, but they did take 3 and the Moonlight Queen. So that's enough wins in my book for Nat20 to call that a dub.
Okay. That looked so good for Boo House, and then Spirit of the 9 who wins hit literally everybody. That everything fell into place. The Anvil of Dawn landed. We thought we were getting that Naga Queen, and then Spirit of the 9 Winds did like 1,000 damage to literally everybody. So did we just panic Lerny and Bo? Sorry. We just panicked Lerny and Bo?
It was so scary. There's an arrow behind you.
That was the equivalent of like somebody farting because they got scared. That's what that was.
You don't get gassy when you're scared?
I can't really remember the last time I was like scared to the point where I toot. Like,
you got a little loose and let it toot out. The mid lane beacon is being fought over for right now. 4 members of Boo House are going to take that away. Double DB walks forward, but instead uses Charge Prey to dash away.
Pick it up.
Instead of plucking one out of position, Nero is going to take that ritual for Nat20. But the XP favored Boo House in that, I believe, is how that went down.
I believe Boo House did get it, but none of them picked it up. And the timer ran out, so Nat20 was just able to grab it because they left it on the ground. Ganesha's dead.
No. Spirit of the Nine wins. Oh my god. Cafe Cat with another huge ult. Slamming with this Kukulkan pick, but not going to be slamming for long. Into the air. Windfire wheels. Thor's going to be in a whole heap of trouble when he lands. Double DB gets the kill. And chasing down Rich. Caesar Bamba gets a double. That's a lot of gold going his way. But the fight continues into the waters, lurking and awaiting for an opportunity to kill. But nothing going to happen just yet. Caesar Bamba, full health, extremely confident, very comfortable with continuing the fight, but not a lot of damage from Boo House to follow through, so we'll just have to call things there.
We just got caught. Ganesha was up too far, and the boys tried to help out. Thor came back down looking for some kills, and then we got CC'd out and taken down. It's all it really was. We stayed there too long, and then we tried to help. It was hero syndrome almost. We were trying to help the boy, trying to help the elephant. The elephant was gone. We do not need to help him. He was gone. He made his mistake. We got to walk away from that and accept the fact that we lost him. And we made a loss that wasn't too bad into one that was way worse. Just because we were just too eager to try to get active there. And sometimes you're just a bit too trigger happy with that sort of thing, and we gotta tame that a little bit.
As we're 19 minutes into the game, 16-12, with the 2K gold lead favoring Nat20. As Gold Fury is getting looked at, but Phenomenal Rich forced to use beads in a bit of a heap of trouble. Wind Sprite forward, followed by the Charged Brave, forces beads out from Deciding Arc. That was a great play made from Double DB, but a good response from Deciding Arc will save their life. The Gold Fury getting looked at. Dharmic Pillars ready. Maybe there's a chance to steal. Dharmic Pillars out, followed by Spirit of the Nine wins. Rich secures the Gold Fury for Nat20. Boo House not able to steal that away. They didn't invest too much. I guess they did invest 3 ults, so that seems like a little bit, but you know, not too crazy.
I mean, we got the Gold Fury and we got a kill. Or no, we didn't get a kill, excuse me. But we got the Gold Fury. So we're just going to keep extending our lead and keep going with it. There's no reason for us to... We don't want to fight right now. So that's perfectly fine. We can walk away from this, take our lead, spend our money, get our items, and keep going. Because right now, you have a Pyromancer pull from Nat20. And we'll see exactly if they're looking for an engage here or they're just looking to get this for themselves.
See how this goes. Phenomenal Rich secures the Pyro, but a fight unfolds from there. Walking forward, look at Nero trying to create some space, maybe lock down one member. Big damage going through the rings, and a great pluck. Charge Prey locks down one, and a tail whip to follow is going to force away a huge dash. Volcanic Rush from Caesar to get back to safety. No secure from the sub-execute. Dharmic Pillars taken away. A lot of low health bars on the side of Nat20. This could be Boo House's time to shine. Into the air, Anvilodon goes, maybe looking for a stun, but the rest of the team is not feeling it. Anvilodon did scare him away. No, he lands back down, feeling himself, but might have been off a little bit more than he could chew. Caesar Bamba gets plucked yet again. DB wants to start the fight, but getting ran out of the back line. You've got to worry about Rory. Oh, Spirit of the Nine wins, takes him down as well. He just fell into hell. Did you see that? Oh my God, the fight goes from there, lacerate forward, and Axe takes one. Another one just fell into hell. We're taking bodies into the underworld here. Karen's not even in this game.
Hades is getting greedy, man. We haven't seen him on the screen long enough, and Hades is just like, I'm taking them. They're mine. That was also really funny that Zeus just got knocked into the sky and then brought straight down. That fight, Thor tried to get in onto somebody, and that was a perfect response from Artemis. Immediately catches him with the stun, tries to aim her out just in time, but doesn't get out of range of Tusky. Tusky tags him, the trap comes down, and that's just a fight perfectly formulated. Unfortunately, for the side of Nat20, we do get a couple turnaround kills because all the damage that's coming our way. Caesar also lived. Wild.
Yeah. There's a lot of crazy things that happened in that fight. 22 win, and Gold Fury not up just yet. Pyromancer did get taken down a little bit earlier before that fight, but Fire Giant can be taken at any given moment should the opportunity present itself. Now, Nat20 are in the lead here, Valve. You see that. What do they need to make a Fire Giant pull happen?
Right now, Nat20 have all the advantages in terms of like a secure. They've got the Kukulkan ultimate, which is better than Detonate for securing. you have a lead, a 4K gold lead right now, and it's expanding a little bit. You also have a carry who is very far ahead. So you have a lot of breathing room in terms of getting this. The only thing that I would be concerned about is making sure this Pele doesn't just run in and make it easy for Thor and Medusa and Zeus to kill everybody. Zeus has this combat blink now, so he can get in and out of tricky spots if he wants to. I really love that pickup for Zeus, because Zeus is a character that can find himself in really sticky situations. They're getting active though. Thor up.
Thor's in the air, looking for an engage, waiting to drop down, finds Arrow by themselves. Phenomenal Rich takes a tower on the left side. Way to utilize the side pressure over there, but 5 members of Boo House lurking around the Fire Giant, waiting to start this fight their way, and walking straight towards Arrow. But Arrow's not going to get locked down just yet. Ultimate's online for everyone but Arc. But there goes Axes. What are we looking for here? Who's our target? Rich is extremely low. Had to defend that left side bird. So 4-on-4 by the Pyromancer, but still can't find an engage. Nero letting the universe ring bounce around. Didn't quite catch it, but that's okay. Jumping onto the back line and taking deciding Arc for a ride from there. Dharmic Pillar's forced away. And look at where Rory is. Lightning Storm won't give him enough space today. Gunning straight for the back line. Cafe Cat could be in trouble. Arrow takes a kill though. Whirlwind to provide some safety. Slipstream to follow. But great pluck. Amazing charge prey. Provides space for the rest of the team. Nat20 now feel completely fine gunning this down because they've got a lot of space just created for them. Whirlwind to follow. Arrow with one more basic. Down go 3 members of Boo House. This could be the green light. Fire Giant looks a little. It looks good here. I think it's a move.
It looks ideal right now because you have the steal potential is minimal from the side of Boo House. Petrify isn't up. Zeus is dead. So your steal potential is very, very low. Artemis is here to shred it. Kukulkan's got some good damage on it. And you've got 2 people on the zone. I don't think both of them are necessary. You could definitely move one of them away and just have Nemesis walking around. I mean, you could walk her back as well. Or, excuse me, Naja. Nemesis, Naja, both NE, so it's like... But you can walk them back. Naja gets back there, and I believe he's the one who picked up the dagger. He did. He did pick up the dagger. So you have that tanky frontline presence who... He started that fight, by the way, by taking Thor out of it immediately, then was able to come back around and CC out the Pele who was trying to dive, making it so much easier for everybody. That pluck, by the way, made it so... made the carries make it not unplayable for them.
Yeah.
The double the D... I was fumbling over my words there for a second, mind you. But double easily made that fight so accessible for their carries because Pele was on top of them. Pele was pressuring them. And then all of a sudden, Sobek's there. Oh, well, not anymore, you're not. You're not doing anything anymore. And hold this tornado. Like, hold that. Then Pele couldn't do anything because she couldn't move. And then Naja was there with the sash. We lock her down, and we're dealing with Bama, and all of a sudden, everything becomes so easy. It's like skipping through a meadow.
Here we are, 26 minutes in.
Pick it up.
21-14. Nat20 may look to take this set to game 3, but they're almost there. Not quite at the finish line yet, but they've been doing pretty well in the race so far. The slow, methodical drive down the field, and we're almost in the red zone. Fire Giant buffs around their waist, dagger in hand for Nero. This could be a good spot to just punch it right side, get that tier 2 tower, and maybe the bird if Boo House lets him, but I don't think that's going to happen. We'll just probably go for the tower because Boo House don't want to give up anything more than they have to. But look at left side, look at left. This is where, look at Thor over there. Thor could take with the siege minion and Thor and get that left side bird and trade for bird. That's honestly huge, but instead going back to base.
That's the order size siege minion. He was killing it. That was not his siege minion. He could not deal with that. Unfortunately.
Supposed to change colors on me. I don't know what happened there.
No, that is a totally like reasonable like tackle there. Hey, half the time the wards aren't different colors, so you don't even know whose vision is what, and minions don't appear on the map, so you don't even know. Like, It's all right. It's all right. The Thor could have actually gone for that Phoenix still, though, because of the deactivated, or not the deactivated, the lower pressure on it. And
Right.
him killing that Naga Queen makes it so that that Phoenix is under pressure. Look at Naja right now. Look at how fast that Phoenix is falling down. It's getting
Yeah.
obliterated right now. Oh, they killed the wave
Yeah.
before we got there. But there was a bull. There was a bull minion right there. We popped dagger because we didn't want it to run out. And that was a tactical play right there to get that so that we weren't stalled and we were able to take that Phoenix. We got poked down. It forced a reset from the boys, and now we're sieging down mid.
Okay, big pull going down mid. And I mean, I guess Pyro's good here too, but we're just kind of waiting on objectives to respawn here. Boots are down, but they don't want to go to game 3. How do you think they come back against the lead that Nat20 has here?
Right now, you got to find a good anvil of dawn. We got to take down this Kukulkan and this Artemis. Both of them
True.
are pumping out such high numbers right now. They're like neck and neck. Artemis is only down like 2,000 damage from them. They have so many numbers right now. Zeus is in there?
Oh! Lightning storm in, but Phenomenal Rich is going to melt his health bar like hot butter on a stovetop. Sirax finds revenge. Phenomenal Rich is dead, taking it for a ride through the Windfire wheels. Nero takes down 1, 2 dead on the side of Boo House. Double DB could be in trouble. They're walking forward, almost hit the knockup, but not quite. Looks like DB's okay today. Look at Nero in the backline, just putting pressure on the Axe. No way he gets out alive here. Ninja hits a silence. DB goes back to base. And look at the whirlwind, just melting through health bars, doing so much damage, but still barely alive. Ninja is going to be in trouble here. One more ability from Nero will take down Ninja. 3 dead, and Axe is extremely low, forced to go back to the fountain. The left side bird is down, dead. Nat20 have successfully sieged up left side and marched their way towards the Ancient Fury for their next big objective.
I don't know who made that call. I think it was Rory, because Rory was the first one in. He probably called for Thor to come down and look for this engage. Rory was in a couple seconds too early. If Arc comes down first and we get in there, that fight could go way better. But Rory got in there. He absolutely nuked Rich, by the way. That guy was dead. we got step 1 of the plan that I had devised. But we were just a bit too eager to get in there too soon. I'm happy with how that went initially, but then it fell apart afterwards because we just went in too soon. Zeus is more than happy to die if he gets all of his cooldowns off. But if you wait another second, wait a second or two, Thor comes in first, and then you go in, and that goes so much better for you. You probably kill both Cat and Phenomenal.
That would have been, you know, a couple of things here and there might have changed that up, but the results are as they are at 30 minutes in, 24-15, and an 8K gold lead, about 8. Yeah, we'll call it 8 for Nat20, as they just got their 3rd gold Fury. Ancient debuffs on the side of the birds. Boo House's Titan Room is in trouble, and the Fire Giant is getting looked at. This could be the last regular Fire Giant of the game, as Nero's trying to create space. Double DB as well, tanking the FG while the rest of the team burns it down. Nero's trying to create space, but look who's walking forward. Caesar Obama is walking straight for the Fire Giant in the air through Anvil of Dawn, down to 3,000. Lightning storms out. Spear of the Night wins, secures it though. Great play from Cat. Arrow finds a kill. Arc nukes Phenomenal Rich. Nero takes down Sir Axe. This could be game 3. I can see it. It's a light at the end of the tunnel for Nat20. DB just kills Caesar Obama. Down are 3 members. Ninja extremely low. That's going to be a dead elephant. Ganesh makes it 4, deciding arc on his own as Nat20 march down the middle lane and look to end this game.
Yeah, they took it down. That fight, methodical. You saw how Nero was up there at the top trying to zone away people, but then at a certain point, the fight was starting and Bama was in there. He just said, all right, I'm taking somebody up, and the boys knew it was time. And Bama, while the pluck was missed on him, it didn't matter. Because now we're walking into a Kukulkan who just has the tornado. That guy's dead. And we're just able to piece together the fight and win the game.
But the bird is melting slower than anticipated. And it looks like a couple death timers are up Rory just respawned. Axe now. Ninja and 5, same thing with Caesar. And instead of going straight for the Titan, we're going to melt the right side bird. The left one's about to respawn, but if Nat20 can walk away with 2 dead birds, that's better than what they were at, which is 1 dead bird. Nat20 have that much more of an advantage. Looks like this game will be going on a little bit longer, but Boo House's chances at winning this game are on life support as we speak.
It's rough. Really, really rough. Because now you kind of have to have a miracle play. Granted, if you do wipe their team, you can run it up left lane and win. But that also involves killing Rich, Cat, and Nero. 2 of which are much easier to kill than the last one. Nero has been living for so long in these fights. An absurd amount of time. So I'm too concerned about his, life expectancy being shortened anytime soon. You have a pretty tall task to get through because now it is a 14,000 gold lead. It's pretty scary.
It's a lot. Jeez. Oh my god. But Ancient Fury is about to respawn. And we've seen objectives go the way of Boo House this game. They've gotten 2 Gold Furies so far. What are the odds they could sneak a 3rd in? Nat20 around the area, so not too high, but a well-timed Anvil of Dawn, maybe a Petrify, something of the sort. Dharmic Pillars, a lot could take away that Gold Fury if utilized correctly. But Nat20 marching down a lane, looking to take down the final bird, which is debuffed right now, and end of this game. Let's see how it goes.
You have to watch here where Thor plays. Because right now, you don't want Thor to be seen, but it doesn't seem like they are too eager to get anything too active. Now he's walking over to the side. You want to get a wall on somebody. We don't find it, unfortunately. You have to play this kind of poke game with a Thor. Get a wall, tag him with that Mjolnir's Entombment, and then walk away. Try to go back and forth with it. Granted, they have Fire Giant, so it's a little bit awkward, but Nemesis is looking to wrap around. Try to find the Anvil of Dawn. Try to find a way in and get active. We're up in the sky now. We're watching it happen.
Anvil of Dawn about to land. Let's see where he goes. The bird melts. 3 down. So execute, utilize. Cafe Cat missed with Spear of the 9 Winds. Dharmic Pillars out. Creates some space for Boo House. Lightning Storm goes onto the back line. Down goes Phenomenal Rich. Boo House just took down 1, but Arrow finds a Rory in the back line. Arrow just did a lot to the back line for Boo House, so the rest of them couldn't walk forward and follow up on the engage. Nat20 running away with their tail between their legs. Double DB looking for a way to charge Prey out. Finally found a dash. It does create a little bit of space, but not enough to save his life. DB trying to make sure that the rest of the team could get out, and that's probably the best thing that he could do. Dead DB on the left side of the map. 3 down for Nat20. And that is huge. Now, it did almost get backdoored. You're absolutely right. That is a 2K health Titan. There are no birds defending it. You've got to watch those minion waves. EFG is about to respawn. Boo House have a lot to think about here.
The thing is, right there, Nemesis split up from the boys, and that would be fine. But right there, Thor landed down on the Sobek. They didn't overextend because Thor could have went down on the back line. But then he also probably would have been eviscerated. So he landed down on the Sobek. He waited for his boys. He was patient. He played with his damage dealers. Zeus was the only one to fall down, but Zeus, he dumped his damage. And he's like, all right, boy, peace, right? He's the stat line. Zeus is one of the few mid laners that I don't care about the stat line. I care about the player damage. And he's at the top of his team right now. He's not too far, but he's only about 5k behind the Kukulkan, right? He's at the top of his team. I care about if he gets that ultimate and his damage off, at least 1 detonate off every single fight. And that is what he's been doing. It doesn't matter how terrible that stat line is. If I win the game because I do my damage, that's exactly what I want.
All right, so 36 minutes in. Ancient Fury and Enhanced Fire Giant both online, ready to be taken. And some of those birds have come up for Boo House. The Titan's still extremely low, but the left side bird about halfway to respawning. Boo House haven't really left the Titan room too much, just a little bit here and there. Arrow walking towards Rory, but Rory's able to dash away and not have to deal with Arrow too much, as the burn looks like it's beginning on the Enhanced Fire Giant. This could spell bad news, worse than Boo House has received at all this game, as it's down to less than half. Into the air, Anvil of Dawn and Nat20 decide to drop. It's the smart move, landing back down and able to find a stun. Phenomenal Rich is dead. Petrify utilized, but won't save Sirax. Double DB charge prays forward, and a slow from lurking in the waters is going to be bad news for the Thor, but he dashes away, and look at Caesar Brahma in the back line, going straight for Cafe Cat and blinking forward from there. Rory looking to melt down one. Spirit of the Nine Winds does connect, but Rory takes down Cafe Cat, slamming damage through the lightning storm. Rory is melting health bars, but doesn't quite find a kill. Nero extremely low, but not giving up on willpower just yet. Wind Sprite forward, then create some space, or creating a lack of space, really walling off one member. Ninja might be in trouble here, deciding arc around the corner. A lot of low health bars on both sides. I think we're kind of scared on how to play this for either side, really.
You don't want to overextend if you're on the side of Boo House because you still have a Phoenix down. I don't know if all the fire waves have been cleared either. So you don't want to lose a Phoenix because the fire wave... They had a moment. Because of the fire waves.
That's cute.
The supports... Well, the supports know that they can't kill each other. They're just like... they're like, what's up, guy? Like, what's going on? They don't have any vision. There's nothing that they could do. I mean, Soba could get an axe proc, but like... Who cares? There's nothing that comes from that. There is no fight to go on, so they just stood there and they jumped. They cosmetic jumped. That's all they needed to do, and that's what comes of it, right? Now that the vision's down, we get a ward on the EFG, and we're posturing around for Nat20. That fight, Zeus comes in afterwards. I hate to say it's the same as like the Aladdin was last game, but it's similar because you come in after the fight starts and you get active. Granted, he doesn't live as long, but he gets active, and he wants to pump those numbers in. He got his damage off. He didn't kill anybody that time, but he got his damage off, and he wants to get in again and just go. Actually, I believe he killed Kukulkan. My fault.
EFG.
I don't want to discredit him.
Was getting burned away, but they dropped it for the fight instead. A pluck into the whirlwind. Down goes Ninja. Anvil of Dawn potentially into the back line. Where will Thor land? He's still in the air and looks straight for Phenomenal Rich. Beads utilized, and Rich is in trouble. Slamming some damage, but gets melted down right after. Arrow's dead as well. 3 down on the side of Nat20. This is bad news for Nat. Boo House coming back in spades after this fight. Nero getting chased around the EFG pit, but where can Nero go? To the gray screen is where he'll end up. But no, wait, they're giving up on the chase. They're going to let Nero go. What is going on here? He dashed straight into a trap. Nero putting on the juke shoes, and looks like they fit well. A Wind Sprite over the wall and still escaping with confidence. Nero is out. So they did kill 3, though. Boo House did maintain control of the EFG, but can they burn it here? I don't know.
That was a mess. But it was a good mess if you're Boo House, because now everything's going well. Zeus lived, mind you, so that is a huge step up. The fact that Zeus lived and is like full health, absolutely massive. Uh-oh, I don't like this.
EFG's getting burned. It's down to 2. It's down to 1. Cafe Cat couldn't show up in time. EFG in the hands of Boo House. Nero kills deciding arc, though, taking 1 buff away. That's huge. Ninja doesn't have it either. There's only 3 members on Boo House that have BFG buffs. That's a huge takeaway, honestly. Nat20 have just got a little bit more of an advantage, but with EFG buffs around the waist of Boo House, Nat20 have been set back a pretty solid amount.
That Naja character just does work. Man, like, I'm shocked. I am shocked that he just absolutely murdered that Thor. Listen, Kukulkan was there to help, but that Kukulkan died pretty fast. Naja just does so much damage. I'm just... The Sunder combined with the Pridwin, the Brawlers, the Shield Splitter, this guy just chunks. And I am disgusted, and I am... surprised, very surprised. Gold Fury now picked up. Boo House trying to turn it around. There is like $200 separating these two teams. That's not true. It's like 2,000. Separating these two teams now. Nope, 5,000. Thank you for circling that and making me feel even worse about my lackluster math skills.
Look at the push.
Yeah,
they're marching down mid. Yeah. Ancient Fury was just taken down. Left side Bird is debuffed. Boo House feel confident, but they're on a timer. 2.5 minutes left really to utilize this EFG buff, but they're walking towards the tier 2 tower in right side. Boo House setting the tone. Things have never looked worse for Nat20 since the start of the game. We might not be seeing a game 2 if Boo House have their way with this siege. No more towers up on the side of Nat20. It might have taken 42 minutes, but better late than never, right? That's what Boo House fans are thinking. Is we're waiting for an opportunity, but can't quite find a way. They're going to go for a Pyromancer bomb instead, and that's the choice.
I mean, right now, if I am Nero, I am looking for Rory, and I am making sure he can't do exactly what he's been doing in these fights. Because that last fight was won because Rory lived, and was able to make it so Cat couldn't play the game. Cat lived that fight for an extended period. Granted, the fight split off and Thor killed her afterwards, but Cat lived like in Timbuktu. Like, she was way out of the fight because Zeus was just chasing her down. Stop this guy from doing what he wants to. Rory is exactly where he wants to be, and that is in your backline doing what he wants. Stop that from happening so we can get back into this and get back into our dominant position.
Here we are. Boo House with EFG buffs. A minute left on him. Waltzing around the left side bird with the only one that's debuffed. This is their now or never.
Oh.
Charge prey forward, finds a massive pluck. Anvil the Dawn goes into the air. Dharmic Pillars to follow through, and a massive lightning storm melts down Caesar Bamba. And a very low health bar DB as well. Phenomenal Ridge quite low as well. Diving into the back line, Deciding Arc gets a lot of damage out, but not quite a kill. Spear of the Nine wins, off the mark. Arrow finds a massive kill there. Sirax is dead. Down are 2 members of Boot House, and the only one left with an EFG buff is Rory. This is bad news for Boo House. Their siege has just flopped on its head, upside down. Windfire wheel off the mark. A massive wall, followed by the hammer. Deciding Arc trying to run away, but a big beads. Wait a minute. Deciding Arc in a choke point, and he got choked out. Down are 3 members of Boo House, but there's no EFG to take here. What do they get out of this?
Probably the game. It is 60 seconds before Arc is back up, 20 before Caesar is. You have a risk of potentially being stalled out. Lightning Storm is up. EFG is just about to fall off. So, it is a potential. Dharmic Pillars comes down. This is dangerous.
No. Lightning Storm trying to create space. This is Boo House's final moment. I think you're right. They could be ending game here. Ninja's dead. Rory and Caesar are the only 2 alive, and Nat20, all 5, making their way to the Titan. There's only 2 birds defending. Caesar Bamba dives speed. Look at Caesar Bamba here, but Spear of the Nine wins. Massive damage. Caesar's in trouble. He's going to have to go back to the base here. 4,000 health on the Titan. Make it 3. Standing in the whirlwind, but Sirax just respawned. Sirax saved the game, but no way. Cat just killed Caesar from the afterlife? What is going on here? Oh my god. This is so back and forth, dude. Who is going to end this game? I couldn't tell you.
Okay. So, that's a lot to break down. But Titan barely lived. Petrify was able to slow down everybody else. We reset the Titan, we backed off. And unfortunately, we died to the aftershock of the tornado. So, Pele's dead. And we're dead for another 40 seconds. EFG is spawned now, and it does look like we're posturing around it, but Medusa's there alone. Is she pulling it by herself? No, she's not. She hasn't hit it yet. But she's looking. They're looking to get in position to fight this. It's 2 down on both sides. Ganesha's about to respawn, so is the Artemis. But it looks like they're pulling already. Boo House is looking for it.
They've already tasted 1 EFG buff today, and they figured out how delicious the taste is. They need to have more. Half health on the EFG, but double DB lurking in the pit with them. And look at Errol. Look at Nero around the corner, looking for something. Sirax is dead. Into the air. Anvil the Dawn goes. Oh my god, Rory's in trouble. No way for him to get out there, trying to secure the EFG before he died, but didn't quite happen. The EFG in the hands of Nat20. 3 dead for Boo House. This is surely game.
Sobek was reset. Okay, Sobek didn't reset. I was going to say, why is Sobek resetting? Please do not reset. This is going to be game. Unless by some miracle, we hit the perfect Ganesha ultimate into Pele just becoming the best spy player that's ever existed. And outplaying everybody. This is absurd. We're pulling it away, and now getting it, and we're just separating it and making it easy.
Wow. just wow, a 42-minute slaughter with more kills than I could count on my fingers. And well, I guess it's not a lot of kills in a Smite game, but still, that's a lot of kills, dude. There was a lot that went down there. Valve, you have any final thoughts?
Rory likes to get active, regardless of what role he's playing. I wonder what role they're gonna are they gonna switch him around again, or are they gonna stick him in mid again? And are they gonna put him on something to get active? I want to see some spice from this guy, because despite his stat line being what's the word, atrocious, he did so much work. That player damage number, highest in the game other than the Kukulkan. He did everything he needed to do, and unfortunately just was not enough this time around. We're going to a game 3, and I'm super excited to see these teams go again.
Nat20 put up a hell of a fight to make this happen. And we're going to game 3. Folks, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Get your potty break in, go grab some snacks. We've got a banger awaiting us. You do not want to miss this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Babylon Smite League BSL. We're going to go over game 3 between Boo House and Nat20. My name's Morty, and I'm here with Asinus behind the booth. Part of the reason why we took so long, Asinus is ripping packs on the Smite Comp website. We got some bangers. We had a couple boosted pairs. We got an emotionals. We got some good cards in there. Not a Valve game joining me here as well to hang out with me here in the booth, and we just watched over some crazy games. Momentum's kind of died down a little bit. So, what are your comments after what we just saw?
There's going to be blood, a lot of blood. Um,
Yeah,
and it's going to be some
yeah.
interesting picks because now the pocket picks they've been dished out. That Pele in particular from Bama is gone now. I don't expect too much to change in terms of the bans, but you see below us, all these picks are no longer allowed to be played in the vault ban format. Everything's gone. That blank space between Yamoja and Merlin, that's Morgan Le Fay. So keep that in mind. I am curious to see exactly where these people are going because now we got to dig a little bit deeper, especially in these lower divisions. Sometimes the pools are a little shallow, so we have to see exactly how deep they go.
We'll have to see after 20 bans from the Fearless format and 6 more to be put out in just a moment. Some consistent bans that we've seen. Odin's been taken away every single game. Same thing with the Neath. That's a comfort pick for Cat, so I don't blame the Neath going away. Odin is just kind of a menace, especially in the lower level lobbies, so I can understand that as well. Fenrir getting taken down. I think it's a pretty solid pick for Arrow, if I remember correctly.
Odin is a disgusting pick, regardless of what rank you put him in. He just is a tanky frontline presence that does not die, and he has the ring. He will always be relevant because he's got the ring. The Fenrir is something that's seen a recent rise, especially with the change to starter items. You don't need a jungle starter anymore, which means you can get something you want more on a Fenrir. You could go with that Death's Toll. You could stick with the jungle starter items or a Bluestone Pendant. Although the axe change does shift that away from the axe because that item's kind of pretty weak. But we will see. The Newt banned away once again. I wouldn't be surprised to see us return back to that Chiron getting banned away like it has been for the past few games, but they might leave it up.
That they might, awaiting our picks because a lot to think about here. This is game 3 to decide who is going to be first seed into the playoffs, and the loser will be second seed, which is not too bad, but nobody wants to brag about a silver medal, right? We're looking at first place, and the winner of this set will get the top seed.
Hunbats is going to be the ban away. A solid jungler taken out this time, although he hasn't been looked at just yet by either team in either of these games. So the Hunbats is just a safe. That character, most junglers have it in their belt, so get rid of it. Let's see how deep this pool goes for you. And it does look like we have the role swap from game 1 has remained. So Rory will be in mid and Deciding Arc will be in jungle still.
You know what's crazy is that I don't blame you at all for saying
Hades, sorry.
this is. I don't blame you at all for talking about Hunbat's jungle, but believe it or not, down here in the depths of the Enkidu division, there is a player. Well, I'll remain nameless for now, but he is a demon Hunbat support with the aspect of disruption. I've seen multiple games where he has just put on a clinic with it. So you never know down here in the Enkidu division. That's one thing we haven't really talked about a lot. You've mentioned comfort, and yes, that's true, but comfort lets you pull out some crazy picks that sometimes just show up in a big way. Chiron is definitely a not so uncommon pick, gets locked in first pick. Ardio to join the battle for Nat20 and Disco being looked at. What are your thoughts?
I mean, this is kind of like the bans that were let through finally. The first two games, Chiron, Disco, and Ardio were all taken away. The Discordia is a flexible pick. It could go into the carry role, but it also could just go mid. Down here, I do think that it's possible that it is in Rich's pool, but I do think I'd just be going to Cat instead. It just seems, I don't know. I just feel like it would be more practical to put it there and have Rich. Rich seems like an aggressive, like get in there kind of player, and Discordia isn't that kind of pick to get all in. Like you mentioned the Medusa, we saw the on her before. He likes to get active, and Discordia doesn't get active until she gets around level 8, 9, 10 ish. So that doesn't seem like his style. But we'll see if it does end up going to him. The Baron Samedi hovered paired with the Ares, which says to me that this Baron Samedi's either going solo or it's going mid, and we'll see if it does, because that Ares is definitely going into that support role.
Val, I don't want you to be mad at me, but on my other monitor, I'm opening packs. we were
You're
ripping
opening
packs.
packs.
We were opening packs before the game because I just found out it was a thing in between the break for games 2 and 3.
You
And I'm
cannot be
opening
opening
packs. I
packs.
just got a Rory card. I just got the Rory card. I had to say it. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna keep it a secret if I didn't get the Rory card, but I got the Rory card. I had to say something because Rory's in the game. Ares and Baron Samedi to be joining Boo House. I'm quitting the cards. I'm
Ooh.
quitting right now. I'm quitting. And Ymir, which is a bit of a spicy pick, which makes me think RDO solo.
Well, I'm thinking it's probably RDO solo and Ymir support, but it could be the other way around. It also could be Ymir jungle. We'll see. That Ymir has a lot of flexibility. The RDO has a little bit less flexibility, but I do think it might be more traditional. The Ymir in support, the RDO in solo lane, and we're going with that. No aspect shenanigans going on. That RDO aspect has really fallen off the face of the earth after the nerfs that it received. It got hit pretty hard, so I'm not surprised to see it's just going to be that basic RDO. The Apollo coming in confirms to me that it's more than likely just going to be rich on that Apollo. Apollo can be very aggressive, and it just kind of fits his style. The Osiris hover makes me think, pairing it with the Loki too, makes me assume that Baron Samedi's going mid, Osiris going in the solo lane, and that kind of fits the Bama style as well, where he likes to be a little aggressive, get in there. But if we do fit the Bama narrative, that could be an aspect Loki solo. Wait, is that still banned? Hang on, mods.
No.
It's not banned. Yes, I love Aspect Loki. I'm sorry.
I don't blame you. I like it too. But the only reason I want to argue with you here is that Caesar Obama has ran this Osiris in multiple comp games that I've casted. He likes this Osiris pick. I'm kind of surprised he didn't pick it earlier. You know, maybe matchups and things require him to pick otherwise, but Caesar Obama
Oh,
loves the Osiris pick with the aspect Poseidon to finalize the draft. And you said it earlier, we got to scrape the bottom of the barrel for picks in this game. This is what we've got. I'm excited, dude. These are some fun gods to look at across the board.
I'm curious to see where they end up putting everything. I would assume Poseidon or Apollo is going jungle. More than likely Poseidon. But if it is Apollo jungle, then it's Disco ADC and Poseidon in the mid lane. So we'll have to see ultimately where they decide to put everything. The Osiris, the thing with Osiris recently is that Axe did get hit pretty hard, and Osiris will ultimately always be an Axe character.
Right.
I've ran a couple of different ways, and I've seen a bunch of people run a couple of different ways, and it's pretty much agreed upon that Axe is kind of just the way you want to go with this character. It just doesn't, nothing feels the same, you know? It just doesn't feel as good as being able to throw that 2 over the wall and chunk somebody for like 200 damage, plus another 200 damage because you have Warrior's Axe. And it's not fun, but we'll see. It looks like the Poseidon does end up in the jungle, though. So it is the Poseidon jungle, and this pick is very risky. But into a matchup like Loki, you might be able to run him over. Also, Aspect Osiris. Interesting.
A lot to talk about here. Aspect Osiris, aspect of the afterlife over there in solo, aspect of Asteria here in mid for deciding arc. Then you've got Apollo, which is a pretty regular lock-in. Cafe Cat without the aspect over in mid for Disco. No aspect of the Den Warden for Nero. So that's a non-aspect. You talked about that through nerfs is probably the reasonable response, and Nero seems to agree with you. A lot to talk about here. I'll let you have the floor.
Well, the RDO aspect isn't here because it got hit really hard with the recent nerfs. Plus, the lifesteal build falling out of favor makes it so it's really not as good and not as viable as it used to be. Plus, base form RDO was already competing with aspect RDO before that, and just the change in builds, plus the couple of hits it took, makes it just not as good. Aspect Osiris, though, this is a high risk, high reward pick. The amount of damage you could do, the amount of lane pressure you have. I am curious, what ability did he level first? If we could check that, I would love to see that on the Osiris, because we don't know yet. Okay, yes, he got the 2. This actually allows for more kill pressure than the 1 a good deal of scenarios. You might think, oh, the slow from the 1 would amplify that. You have haste permanently, and with the movement speed buff, you're not losing that haste because of that aspect, which means you could just stick to somebody, beat them down. Look at Nero's health bar right now. It's dropping, and now they finally separated themselves. He cannot walk up to this. He gets beaten down by this Osiris super easily. But back to my point. Aspect of the Fragmented with this Osiris allows him to get a ton of damage off and stick to people. But the problem is, when he's in there, he's in there. He is very, very catchable. You don't have the same Lord of the Afterlife leap out that you're used to with normal Osiris. If he's caught, and he's cooked. This guy is very catchable, and I'm hoping that Nat20 capitalize on that and take that.
So a relatively slow start, a lot of pressure being put out in solo for sure, but the rest of the map is kind of, we're chilling right now, right? A minute and a half, it seems too early. Even though we have seen invades from Nat20 in every game so far, they decided to play it slow, methodical, not take any risks. There is a lot on the line here. Caesar Bomba extremely low. Same thing with Nero. Looks like there's a lot going on in solo, but as well as a good amount here in mid fighting over the Oracles. And maybe we see something here in duo as we've had over this mid camp for the first speed buff of the game. Duo side, a great frost breath as Nero picks up first blood on Caesar Bomba over in duo. But look who just showed up on the side. Flurry strikes, doing a lot of damage to double DB. Down he goes. One dead on each side, but Nat20 picked up first blood.
Rory actually swapped back to jungle. He picked up the Loki. It seems like this is a flexibility for the Boo House, that their mid and jungle swap around depending on what picks are being played. Because first game, it was this setup. It was Rory in the jungle, and it was Arc in the mid lane. Game 2, it was Rory in the mid on that Zeus getting active and deciding Arc in the jungle on that Thor. And now this time around, it's back to what it was. Rory in the jungle and Arc in the... I love that flexibility, especially in draft leagues. That flexibility that you're comfortable enough with each other that you could trust each other to be like, hey, I'm not too comfortable on the Loki. You mind running it here? Or even the compositions, right? Oh, Baron seemed to be really good here. You comfortable on that, Rory? No, I'm not too sure. You're gonna. Right. Oh, I'm great on that. You know, I love that flexibility. I love that sort of. It's such a unique thing for draft leagues, especially because in a regular like comp league, you can kind of predict that and play with that. But in a draft league, it's so unique to see. You know.
Yeah, you'll get that a pretty good amount, honestly, especially when you're in Enkidu division where there's so many aspects to utilize, so many ways to play a lot of different guys. That flexibility is really a name of the game. And out goes the Kraken to secure the fire brand. Caesar Bomba looking for a stun on Arrow, who's trying to dash away. Flurry strikes doing good damage. Sickle a tad bit off the mark. Same with the two, but Caesar not giving up on the chase. A good one will take down Arrow. Great rotation from Deciding Arc to secure the kill, but the fight's not over on the right side of the map just yet. Red buff is to be fought after. Cafe Cat doesn't want to give it up for free. Life of the party utilized, but Beads won't get her out. Cafe Cat getting vortexed in, down to a flither of health, and down goes Cafe Cat. 2 dead on the side of Nat20. Red buff will be the prize, but look who just got back. It's Arrow looking to secure that red buff. That's the big objective of the game, but it goes the way of Rory, a big objective for Boo House.
Does look like, yeah, they do steal it away, which is nice for them. Deciding Arc does secure that kill onto the Poseidon, by the way, because he was just too quick for the Osiris and the Loki to catch him. Even with that slow, Poseidon is just too fast. And it is a difficult time, but then with that root, it makes it easy. Lock it down, get it. Loki is still not level 5. I just realized that Poseidon's level 6 and Loki's still not level 5. Did he get that red buff? Maybe he didn't get that red buff. Because Poseidon is like a level and a half above him, at least. That's brutal.
Well, you got to keep in mind that Poseidon has been farming a lot more, and we've seen Rory very big on the rotations early. Yeah, that's really what's going on here. Oracle is getting burned down, and Arrow is going to get a little bit more on top of that. As we're getting to about the 5-minute mark, a couple kills here and there, a slower start than what we're used to, but still aggressive early from Boo House. Going to land them 3 kills. Kraken utilized in mid lane. Aegis forced out away from Deciding Arc to make sure he doesn't get hurt too bad. Consigned Spirits will heal him up a little bit, though. Golden Apple off the mark. That's a shame. Deciding Arc, he took a lot right there between dodging one and Aegising another ult. Deciding Arc baited a lot.
Has a ton of cooldowns just wasted right there. The Aegis, well-timed, easy. Get that Kraken. It's the tail as old as Smite, you know, or tail as old as Poseidon, I should say. There's a Kraken. Yeah. I buy Aegis. I use it to immune the Kraken. And that's just kind of how it is, how it always will be as long as Poseidon exists. And, ooh, a little bit of stun there, but nothing too crazy. At this point in the lane, Aryo can trade back into this Osiris pretty effectively, but this is not what you want to trade back into.
Oh, wait. 3 members over here on the right side of the map. Consigned Spirits followed by Flurry Strikes. Down goes Nero. Live at the party, taking in another. Beads forced away. But look at Arrow slamming damage. Aurora dead. And a great one to follow through. Arc is having a bit of trouble fighting this off. Arrow's low on mana, but a Whirlpool will slow him down just a little, deciding Arc down to 200 health. Gets back to the tower, plays it safe from there. Arrow might cash in on the Firebrands, but he has little to no mana to work with.
I mean, right there, that was just... Poseidon came in and just the cleanup crew. He's got water. He'll clean it up real quick. And that... getting 2 kills to the Poseidon there is very rough, especially when he's already got this hyper-accelerated lead from just being a better farmer than Loki. And that's not like a player thing, that is a character thing. You mentioned it before. Poseidon just clears camps better than Loki does. He clears it faster because all he has to do is push 2 buttons, and maybe left-click once or twice. Loki, in the meantime, has to wait for the channel to come through, has to click it a few more times. It's a whole other process. Poseidon just one and done, I'm out of here. Like, he's quick, and he flies around the map way faster than Loki does. So this guy getting an even further lead is going to make it easier for Nat20 to take this game. I am a little nervous, because if this Poseidon keeps going the way he's going, he might just run the lobby.
And that we cannot have. We're still seeing a bit of a slow play here. I think that both teams are realizing how much is on the line here. There's so much happening right now as far as Methodical. No way, Centaurus out. Rich is dead. Couldn't quite hop onto the chariot fast enough. Maybe looking to rotate over to mid lane or just get out of that exchange in general, because Rory showed up, helped cash in a kill. Here in the mid lane, fighting over the beacon. Frost Breath a tad bit off the mark. The rest of Boo House walking over to the right side. No. Instead, they're going for Gold Fury. That's a smart move. But Arrow's ready with the Kraken. Could seal this away in just a moment. You've got to play this smart. You've got to play this safe. Ninja covering some space, looking to make sure that nobody walks forward. Golden Apple off the mark, create space for Kraken, which doesn't kill it. Sarax hits one final basic, 42 health left on the gold. Axe says, that's all mine. Easy pickup for Boo House. A little stressful for a moment, but hey, it worked their way. That's all they can ask for.
What I would like to see in there is if I don't know if we're keeping track of the beads timer. Poseidon didn't have beads for another 30 seconds, give or take. We just grab him and we yoink him in. He goes down, and that's a huge kill for us because you see how he's got 2 kills right now, and he's got a sizable lead, which allows our Loki to kind of catch up a little bit and just help out a little bit. I was hoping, but at that point they were focused on getting the objective, locking it down. They almost lost 42 HP, by the way. That was wild that we didn't get that. Unfortunate swipe away. I think Poseidon did. Yeah, no, Poseidon did get that.
Oh no, Frost Breath, Ice Wall, deciding Arc in trouble, nowhere to go. And oh my god, how are they dropping through the map? Rory cleans up on Cafe Cat though, and able to put on the juke shoes and escape out of there through invisibility. Looks like Rory's okay, but their friend deciding Arc in hell.
No, they sunk him down to the bottom of the sea. It's Poseidon this time.
That's a more family-friendly way to say it.
It's also more like lore accurate at this point because Poseidon's in this game. They also banned Hades. Hades is not allowed.
Yeah,
so the guy in charge of Hell isn't allowed. So like, he's not even on the battle. Like he was removed.
I thought it was no. Charon's not in charge of Hell. Charon's in charge.
Charon's
of
the guy.
Moving him around.
He's the boat. He's the guy who rides the river Styx.
It's so funny when people call him like a boat when he's like a dude on a boat.
He's the dude on the boat.
He's the boat, like he's just a boat, like a boat guy. That'd be a trip. Old Napple is out, followed by No Escape. Does get pulled. Beads a tad bit late, but able to pull the beads and take his life. DB's dead thanks to Life at the Party and No Escape. Boo House just picked up one more kill.
Right there. I like the delay on the beads because he was trying to avoid that situation. Unfortunately, he does not have enough movement speed to get out of that situation. Maybe we'll see a Cersei's Hexstone at some point to try to help with that. This is a situation.
No way, cracking out, forces beads away and chasing him down.
Huge.
Sir Axe jukes the wave. I don't even know if he meant to do that. I think he just fortunately walked that way. On the other side of the map, however, Boo House half-forward members gunning straight for Nero, who gets back to the tower, but Ninja lands one more shackle, takes down Nero. One dead. Firebrand's not up for just a moment, but I mean, hovering around, I think they've got some camps together. They've got stuff to do.
Axe living there is gigantic, by the way, because at the same time we're getting a play on the other side of the map. We got a pick in mid, we get a kill in right, and our ADC, the only person who was a play on the map, lived the play they tried to make. Kraken came out. We barely by the heel we live by barely, and we still get out. We get the big reward from that, and we make the plays across the map. It's big for us right now. And it helps our jungler because their jungler's not farming at that time, and meanwhile, we're trying to get kills.
And that Ice wall used, but it doesn't get him forward, cripple out, and DB's dead again. Deciding Arc gets the kill. Running forward from there, Nat20 in a whole heap of trouble. Kraken utilized, but the damage is off the mark. Errol is shut down. Fire Ori. Big dubs for Boo House. Maybe looking for more in middle, but waiting on the team to show up. Mushroom out to provide some healing. And where do we go from here? Nero goes back to the tower. That's for sure. Lands a root followed by Consigned Spirits. And Baron's getting good damage off as well as healing himself. So Deciding Arc stays around. So they're able to take down the Gold Fury. Surely that's being looked at right here. Providing space at Nero, maybe looking to distract a little bit, but you can't distract everyone from Boo House. Gold Fury being looked at by 3 members. Who just walked over? Sir Axe, along with Ninja, trying to take this thing down. And we're slowly but surely burning it away. Boo House creating space. Ice Wall, rocket jump out. DB has nothing to do with that Fire Giant. He doesn't even want to look at it. Gold Fury doesn't even want to look at it. And rocket jumps out. Second Gold Fury of the game going towards Boo House.
Easy secure right there. We go on the one guy who can like make the way in. Ardio's over on the right, who she has to wait for her team to be there to back her up, because if she doesn't, she just gets collapsed on and she dies. She's not very physically, she's got a little bit of tankiness. She's got those reinforced greaves, the regrowth greaves, excuse me. And that's about it. She's got some health, but Baron Samdi will go right through that. Ares will go right through that. So it ain't that simple for her. But you have to wait for the rest of the boys to come in, and it looks like we're going in right now.
Oh no, bad trouble, life of the party, but good beads. Icewall did a great job there, but Rory behind to kill. Rory takes down Arrow, way to capitalize. Rory is on fire right now, dashing under the tower and hanging out there. Double DB does not want a piece of that pie. It's a little bit too hot. Pyromancer getting looked at by Boo House. Surely they take this scotch-free, but Nero rotating over. Maybe Nero's focused on the fire brands instead. But look at DB over the wall, drops the ward, but you can't steal that with a glacial strike, silly. There's not enough range.
Well, if they pulled it to that side of the wall, he could have.
Yeah, true.
But it was ambitious. But hey, I like the ambition, you know?
Yeah.
If he did steal that, that would have been hilarious, by the way. And it would have been a great clip, but he did not. So, unfortunately.
That would have been a great clip.
Hey, it would have been. It would have been a fire clip.
Dude, that'd be top 3 on Smite 2 Twitch clips, honestly. A glacial strike to steal away a pyro. Like, I mean, we
over
saw
the
some
wall
crazy
glacial strike? Like,
dude, I know. That has been wild. Oh,
insane.
Man.
Insane
14 and a half minutes in. Got 12 kills on the side of Boo House and 4 for Nat20. And we'll call it a 6K gold lead. Thank you, Asmus. 6K gold lead for Boo House as they lurk around the Moonlight Queen. It's about to spawn right here, right now at the 15-minute mark. But Ninja getting choked out. No way. Ice Wall to block him off. Followed by the Kraken. No escape used. Blink out to make sure that he lives. But look who's around the side. Nero looking to clean up here. Oh, here's the no escape. Does find a pull. Nero's dead. Sirax finds the kill. Deciding Arc looking for double. And he's able to get him there. 2 dead on the side of Nat20. Boo House decides to drop all focus on kills and go straight to the Moonlight Queen. And I cannot blame him. Permanent intelligence and strength buff sounds pretty nice to me. Arrow lurking around the side, dashes straight in with the Kraken ready. No, he stole it. He stole it. The Moonlight Queen's been stolen by Nat20. A huge buff going their way. Arrow will pay with his life. Phenomenal Rich almost able to dash out, but Caesar Bomba won't let him live. So Nat20 did lose 4 kills, but they did get the objective. Is that a dub?
I was about to say how bad of a loss that was because the Ymir walked in, had everything going right for him, and as soon as he walked in, like, he looked great, he felt good. He walked out of the house and a piano fell on his head. Like, it was like, and he doesn't even own a piano, right? But then Poseidon stole the stole the Pyromancer, or not the Pyromancer, the Naga Queen, and I believe picked up the Ritual Eye too. So nope, he didn't. Chiron has it in the pocket, but still, that was, we steal away the objective, so we get the permanent buffs to ourselves, 5% strength and intelligence permanently for the rest of the game on everybody. But now we're fighting over this mid beacon.
Just now got online. Boo House maybe looking for a kill. No escape on Nero. Pulls him in. Good stun. Nero surely dead here. Life of the party. Finds the final bit of damage needed. And look at Rory diving into the tower with flurry strikes. Aegis used so Crack doesn't hurt. And that's a lot that just went the way of Boo House. They just got a whole lot of objective between 4 kills and a couple more over here in the mid lane. And now the mid beacon. They might not have gotten the Moonlight Queen, but a lot more has gone their way with kills, beacon, and now Gold Fury's getting looked at. No Kraken available to steal, and Arrow's not even nearby the area.
Nowhere near. And I'm gonna be honest, you don't want to be anywhere near because that's a whole team. And right now, the Boo House looks like a completely different team from Game 2. There were flashes of this in Game 2, but this is a whole different... We woke up, and we're here. This is clean, clinical gameplay right there. That mid-beacon fight turned out, we got the pull in, the double root afterwards from that Lord of the Afterlife. Everything came together exactly how you wanted it to. And you can't ask for more, really, if you're the Boo House right now. All you gotta do is just form up, get ready for this fire giant, and go.
Sirax might be in trouble. Look who's high is Errol. We're getting chased down. Into the chariot we go. Can we find Sirax? Maybe block him off with a Mez. And the Whirlpool will slow him down. Big damage from Phenomenal Rich. You did not need to crack in there. I can't blame you, though. You really wanted that kill. I'd want Sirax dead, too, if I were you, Errol. Can't blame you there. Gold Fury is not up to be taken. Unfortunately, that's what Nat20 were looking at, but decided it's not there. What can we do? We'll just have to go and farm some more instead.
Oh, we're going to get this Pyromancer, and if we are Boo House, because we saw the amount of commitment they sent over to that left side to get axed. The free is off the mark, but we do get that madness. Nothing too crazy going to come from that. I am very happy that they have decided to just still... They're not dissuaded by their deficit. We're getting active at the points of the map. Loki is now ahead, which is shocking to me. But we are in a position now, as Nat20, to try again, maybe get something on this Chiron or somewhere else, this Osiris. Osiris gets stuck in that whirlpool. He is getting Kraken. He has no Aegis.
Yep.
He is taking, he is holding that Kraken.
True.
So we've got another target. He does have magical defense, so we have to keep that in mind.
Quite a bit.
We might want to wait, but we have that totem, so no, we don't even need to wait. We could just get in there and get active.
Oh! Assassinate used. He almost got burned away there. Very smart move from Rory. But look who's around the corner. No escape. Burned. Beads as well. Golden Apple lands right on his head top, followed by Shards of Ice. Will it do a lot? Not so sure. Life of the party used as well. Oh my god, that's damage. Ninja cleans up. Arrow's dead. Deciding Arc just smacked the crap out of Arrow with the Life of the party coffin close. Good lord, that's damage if I've ever seen it. The Gold Fury not up just yet. Fire Giant ready to be taken, but that's a little ambitious. Pyromancer can't be taken down just yet. Maybe we grab Midbird with this next wave.
Good movement in tight corridors. You got the exact amount of movement you need for that Baron Stamina to make sure that's effective. And now with Chiron here, we have a lot of good... You see that Ymir getting shredded right now, getting destroyed.
Ouch. Ow, dude. Ow. That looked painful. Poor Ymir.
That looked even more.
That looked even worse. Deciding Arc is on fire. there's a lot to worry about if you're on the side of Nat20. So Baron is popping numbers. Ninja is ahead, so Ares is a mini boss. There's a lot of issues for Nat20 to handle right now. I mean, where do they even start with this pile of paperwork on their desk?
The biggest problem right now is getting themselves established again. And I think the best way to do that is to find a pick. And the easiest person to pick on this team is the Osiris. For sure, it is the Osiris. Because right now, he doesn't have a movement ability to get out of the Kraken. Artio is here trying to get active on this, but I really think she gets stunned and she dies.
Here we are up the... Oh, the Centaurus snipes off the mark just a bit. Fire Giant down to half health. And Sirax having to run away because look at Nero gunning straight for him in the back line. Rory takes down DB. Arrow's dead as well. Make it 3 because Nero's in a whole heap of trouble. Rory picks up a double kill. Things look so good for Boo House, and they just can't stop getting better. Fire Giant did get dropped, but they can continue the burn here. A lot of low health bars on Boo House, but they're going to continue the burn. Rich just went to the burn on the left side, though. Rich just secured the left side burn. That's what Apollo does. He split pushes games, and that's exactly what he did. But he's going to have to lose the Fire Giant in the process. Because down it goes. Rich is the only one alive on the map. He's got no mana to work with, so he can't fly over. Down goes the fire. All 5 members of Boo House have the buffs, and the dagger is in hand for Rory. Probably the worst member for Nat20 to deal with, because Rory's been on fire. The last thing he needs for them is a revive.
But we'll have to see. We'll have to make sure he uses that the right way, because there's a chance that he slips up. So gotta be careful. He has no beats. He's got the Aegis specifically for that Poseidon, so he could be CC locked down. There's only something to do in a situation like that. But again, we are in a position where we just have a dominant lead. We're just under 10k gold, just about 8k, I believe. To get well, we put up the gold charge, 8k, just about 8k and 50 bucks. That's how far ahead we are right now. So we can really, you know, play around with this and see what buttons we want to push. I want to get this left lane Phoenix down if possible. It's even up the 2 fire waves, but again, we don't want to bite off too much. Looks like Nat20 wants no part of this Gold Fury. They want to get the Pyromancer. Let's push down these waves, get these towers if we are Boo House.
Unfortunately, I hate to be this guy, Valve, but I'm going to call it how I see it. I feel like Nat20's a little boomed. It's been a long set, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, and some of these downs can really take a player's mental down, right? Because this is, I mean, the most lopsided game we've seen of the set, right? Not saying Nat20's rolled out just yet, but things just keep getting better for Boo House. Like you said, big gold leads. They've got Fire Giant buffs. They just took down the tier 2 on the left side, and now gunning for the bird. But can they take this down, though? Sirax is banging out damage, and down it goes, cracking off the mark. Centaurus snipes absolutely hurt. Sirax going forward as well. A great giddy up, followed by some basics. Sirax hits a double. Things are looking crazy for Boo House. They might have lost Ninja, but they're getting kills everywhere they go. Dagger in hand. No, he gets sent to the afterlife with all of his friends.
Already.
Oh, he did.
He revived once already, and he took down somebody because of that. It was big.
Smart move.
No, he already took down somebody with the revive. Unfortunately, AD carries do a lot of damage, and he got absolutely eviscerated by Rich after, I believe he killed the Discordia. He did it. Don't worry. Rory did his job. He put up the numbers. It's just he had like 2 numbers in his HP pool when the Poseidon showed up, and unfortunately that is not enough.
That it's not. 28-9, 25 minutes in. Fire Giant buffs have a minute left of wearing off, but not on Ninja and Rory. They're already gone because they've passed away. Fire Giant is a little bit farther from respawning. Same thing with Pyro. Same thing with Ancient Fury. Nat20 has time to farm. They're not in too big of a worry as long as they can secure waves on the left side, and make sure that they don't lose any Titan health. I mean, they're okay. They can just kind of breathe and hold steady for a little bit. Try and catch up on levels. That's their biggest issue right now, right?
I mean, right now you need to like you said, catch up on. Besides the only one who's even. Right, and then Apollo is as well, but Apollo got the farm. It's very difficult for somebody like the Ymir or the Artio to get levels right now, because Artio's clear is kind of buns, and she walks up to anybody and gets eviscerated right now. You see all this damage going into her, and she's not even getting hit by like the big of it, like the chains missed, but she still took a huge chunk out of her just from like the passive Baron Samedi 2 or Baron Samedi 1, the Chiron throwing a couple basics at her. She's just taking chunks out of her. It's very difficult for the two tanks to farm up themselves here. I do actually really like the Stygian Anchor from the Ymir because it slows down the Baron Samedi will be able to immune it, but it slows everybody else down. It also helps in this, I mentioned the Osiris lockdown, keep this guy in place and take him down afterwards. But right now, our main goal, we got to catch up somehow. Get the farm where we can and get active after we get that farm. Poseidon and Apollo are really the two big ones, so we got to play around them. We have to keep with them and keep them alive so we can win this.
Here we are around the Pyromancer. Another objective to add to the closet of awards that Boo House has. It just seems to be one after the other, after the other, after the other. And a Pyro Bomb for Ninja. Add to the collection. Ancient Fury about to respawn here. I guess spawn for the first time this game. Then on the right side of the map, Fire Giant about to spawn as well. Mid lane buff going the way of Boo House. It's just one dub after another, and Nat20 are slowly biding their time, awaiting for the late game for maybe an opportunity.
Hema's just walking around in circles, picking up all these rocks. He's just biding his time. He's humming away. He's like, oh boy, more stones. They're waiting for the Fire Giant to come back up. It's pretty obvious. Right now, there really isn't too much else to do other than maybe, you know, you could go for the Ancient Fury, but you don't want to just like hand over Fire Giant. So everybody restock, get your items, finish up whatever you're doing, and then come back, get Fire Giant. There's nothing else that we really need to do other than just be ready for this. And we don't overthink it. It's simple. We use our lead and we win these fights.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I've got high hopes for Boo House. I think everyone knows at this point, just looking at the odds.
Besides in left too.
Not giving up just yeah. Look at Poseidon. Numbers game favors Boo House right now, and if they knew, I mean, they should know. Yeah, they're starting to burn here. That's smart. They saw on the map. They said, you know what? Screw it. Let's burn it. Giant getting looked at right now. Boo House doing the burn slowly but surely, but this could be a bait play. Oh my God, Life of the Party. A sick blink followed by Life of the Party. Deciding Arc just killed Nero in cold blood, lying lifeless on the floor of the jungle. One dead for Nat20. Arrow next to the Ancient Fury, and look at Rory. Look at how much Rory could bite off here. Rory going straight for double DB, but he might have been off a little bit more than he could chew. Aegis utilized, assassinate to get him out. He's down to 200 health. He's got to go back to base here. Boo House are going to hang out around the FG, continue the burn. And Nat20 are forced to keep their distance. They don't need to steal just yet. Maybe a well-timed chariot could bring them in, and down it goes. Sir Axe is able to secure it. Steal was not successful. Walking forward from there, Caesar Bamba looking for a stun on Cafe Cat, but will the stun go through? Maybe not, but the kill will. Cafe Cat's dead, along with the rest. But wait a minute. Arrow's going to secure the Ancient Fury in response. That'd be Nat20's first Ancient Fury, first gold theory of the game. That's a big play there.
Well, that was just the fast cleanup that you needed. Now all the damage is coming through on this Phoenix. The Ancient Fury won't be able to be picked up by you, but Poseidon is still there now. Finally gets the reset. We're still looking for something. Look at this Baron Samedi's position. Look at that guy's health bar. Where did it go? I don't know. Blink and you miss it because that Baron Samedi just eviscerated him. Poseidon. I thought he was going to go for something.
Yeah, I did too.
I was waiting for it. That's why I dropped it. I was looking. I thought he was just going to absolutely explode this Baron Samedi, but no. He's patient. He's waiting.
Biding their time. As Boo House waltz around the mid lane bird. The right bird's fallen. The mid bird could be next. Fire Giant buffs around all 5 members of Boo House. High health bars. All ults ready. Dagger in hand for Sir Axe. Here begins the siege. Kraken's out. Aegis utilized. Nero goes into the back line. Life of the Party does, oh my God, massive damage. Down goes one, but able to find revenge. Health bars melting across the board. Deciding Arc just killed so many people with just one ult. 4 dead from Nat20 in the blink of an eye. Nero finds revenge on Deciding Arc, but still 3 members from Boo House are ready. Dagger in hand, and it looks like Boo House are going to end it here. Deicide and a Game 3 win for Boo House.
clean and concise. That game was what you want to see. Clean game. We knew what we wanted to do. We abused our lead, even with the deficit in the jungle at the start of the game. This Poseidon, just an efficient farmer. I liked the Poseidon pick. It did what it wanted to do. It just, unfortunately, the rest of the team kind of just got outpaced. And unfortunately, Boo House took advantage and kept it going. This Baron Samedi was dominant. This Ares dominant. Caesar came in, did exactly what he needed to do in the late game. Chiron, I see that stat line. Insane, by the way. I felt like that guy was getting so much pressure on him, but he lived almost every single time. Boo House played lights out this game to close out the set.
Beautiful game there from everybody on the side of Boo House. And it looks like mentals might have gotten the best of Nat20. I think it is what they put out a great fight in the first two games, but slowly but surely, I think that they just started to lose hope, and that game was it wasn't their best, but I still have high hopes for them throughout playoffs. I think this team's phenomenal. You've got some banger players on that side. You just got to keep your chin up, work on your mistakes, and you'll get better. I assure you that. But for now, the victory goes the way of Boo House. Any final thoughts before we take off here, Val?
This is certainly a learning experience for both teams. So look at these games, especially because of how close they were. The first two ones were so close. Watch those back, take them, learn from them, and improve from that way. You two are both the top of the division, so take that with stride and learn from this set.
I couldn't agree more, my friend. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to Asinus for being here behind the scenes. Thank you to Val for joining me here in the booth. And most importantly, thank you to every single viewer in the chat for being a part of this banger of a cast. We have more on the way, not today, but in the future. And if you don't want to miss them, be sure to scroll down just a tad and hit that heart button under the screen you've been watching for the past 2 or 3 hours if you want to see more Babylon Smite League action, because it is hotter than ever as we're getting into the playoffs very, very soon. But until then, take it easy, gamers. Thanks, y'all.